Hello and welcome everyone to the first retrospective we've had in a while, and what better topic to use than A Link to the Past? Let's actually freaking go into the past of my playthrough of this game, yeah, I'm gonna rank the hell out of this game. There's so much to talk about. There is so freaking much to talk about in a game like this one. Link to the Past, by the way, for those of you who might not be as familiar with the Zelda series, was the third ever Zelda game made. I'm pretty sure. We've got the first two and then this one. And all the freaking innovations that this game came up with to essentially enhance the Zelda series beyond anything anyone had seen before. It's incredible. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about some of this stuff like in more detail later. But like, yeah, the light world, dark world mechanic is just freaking amazing. That gets like its whole freaking section. All of the bosses, the fact that it had a story, you know, you start with like, oh hey, you gotta rescue the princess, and then you do it in like 5 seconds. Oh my god, okay, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Essentially, the point is, this game is great, and there's a lot to rank in it, and there's also a lot to talk about in it, so here I am. Gonna be chatting about this one for a decent amount of time. Also, Aaron, hello, Self, hello, Shop, hello, how's it going? Oh, look, I've frozen. That's fine. It's the ice rod, clearly. Clearly, that's how we're gonna start today. Oh, it just died. It's alright. How else are we gonna get this stuff done? If not with a few absolute deaths. Give me a second, folks. I'm gonna have to pull this back up again. How is everyone doing? Oh, wait, what? Well, well, things start crashing immediately. The ice rod needed more. That's true, actually. That's true. There is an item ranking. I'm gonna be ranking the items too, by the way, folks. That is definitely a thing. Lonely Discord. Yeah, say hello to the Discord. Here, I can even... I can just pat it like this. Okay, this is actually really weird because my screen is not open to the Discord now. How is it even doing this? What the frick? It's reaching into the past of my phone. This is the real Link to the Past. Alright, hold on a second, folks. I'm gonna delete this and then just restart it. That ends up fixing most problems. Yeah, as you can see in the Discord screen, we did have a bit of technical difficulties today. That's how all of these things are gonna work. So the ice rod I think is only really useful if, you can get like magic from it, can't you? You can freeze enemies and then hammer them, and that gives you magic. But like, or did that give you hearts? That might give you hearts. Either way, it uses up magic, so it kind of wasn't as necessary, I'm gonna say. Here we go. Have I brought myself back? Not quite yet. Alright, there we go. We're on. We're back. Let's go. Hello. Okay. But yeah, so I've also got this really awesome setup here where I can essentially look at my own gameplay. Heckin' watch this. Wait, freaking just gonna play something random. Come on, do something. Apparently we are not doing things. This is fine. Oh wait, no wait, I got it. Ho ho! Let's go! Let's freaking go. So yeah, we can actually look at the old stuff that I did and rank things. And speaking of ranking things, yeah, I thought I'd start off with just the dungeons overall. Like, kind of just go through them, talk about exactly what's new and weird about each one. and yeah, I think out of all of the dungeons here, okay, so I think I've also put them in order. Is this the order? Yeah, we've got Hyrule Castle. I think we do Hyrule Castle again at some point, but Hyrule Castle, the palace on the side, the East Palace, and then we got like the swamp, but like not dark, Hera's Tower, etc. And all of them kind of like do some weird, interesting things. All of them kind of do something that the previous games had not done before, which I really like. And yeah, I mean, let's freaking get into it though. So first dungeon like that you ever go to is the undergrounds of Hyrule, and it looks like this here. It looks like loading, that's what it looks like. And yeah, there's like this whole like underground series of places. You've got to fight these soldiers for the first time. First of all, the entire story setup for this, the fact that like, you know, oh, the soldiers of the town are all against you, and they've been brainwashed by Aghanim. They're coming at you, they're gonna fight you, it's all good. I think that's actually brilliant. Like, that's such a great reason to use the soldier, like, sprites, and then you can just kind of, like, recolor them for different armor. You can, like, bring them and do whatever you want with them, honestly. Like, the fact that the soldiers are in the palace and you're kind of running through it and you're trying to rescue Zelda from her own freaking palace It's great. I really like that. So I'm gonna give it like a pretty decent ranking. I thought this dungeon was nice. I think the one thing I didn't like about this one is just that, like, since you're in the palace, there's not much new about it. Like, I mean, it's a pretty standard, normal freaking dungeon. You're only going through the first few levels. And after that, you end up in, like, the underground, I think. You end up, like, going through the sewers. And the sewers are, like, alright, you know, there's nothing too special there. It's the normal freaking dungeon set, where you're just chilling. But you do get to rescue Zelda, which is awesome. So heckin', I don't know. I'm gonna put this dungeon pretty high up, I think, in general. And the thing about Hyrule Field is that you're not only going through the entire, like, yeah, you're not just going through for the purpose of going through a dungeon. You get to rescue Zelda like immediately, which is freaking great. Yeah, like, I mean, the fact that you start off like, hey, like, Link, you gotta rescue Zelda, and then you just do it immediately. I love that. I think that's great. So I'm gonna put this pretty high up on the rankings. Let's put it like, let's put it here. Like, let's put it an A, and I haven't even gotten to, like, the second usage of Hyrule Castle, and we're already putting it an A. Like, it's pretty great. Danny Luminous, hello, thank you for the cheer. Let's go. Got some things you gotta do. Oh, sad to see you go. Always good to have you stop by, though, folks. Yeah, I think getting murdered by a rat was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, at that point, you've got, like, what, 3 hearts? 3 hearts max. And you're just chilling, you know, and you're like, oh shit, like, you know, wandering through the dungeons. You're like an 11-year-old child. I think that's great. So I'll give it a pretty decent score. After that, what do we got next? So the next dungeon is, like, the actual most standard dungeon, I think, in the game. Next dungeon looks something like that. Here we go. Yeah, this is the East Palace. You get to it after talking to Sahasrara, and he tells you, like, hey, there's stuff you gotta do. You gotta get the 3 pendants. And already plus points for having 3 pendants in the game and making you go off and get them. That's actually freaking great. But yeah, like, I don't know. It ain't great, but I'll do it, I guess. Why specifically 11? Wait, 11 for what? Did I say 11? Oh no. I don't know, there's nothing too fancy about this dungeon other than, like, the cannons going through the floor, and I think that gets reused in other dungeons to better effect. I don't actually recall anything too special about this one in general, so, I don't know, like, C for forgettable dungeon. Like IDK. Not much in this one that's actually too fancy. Oh, 11-year-olds? Oh, yeah, he's like 11. He's pretty young. I don't know, it doesn't actually tell you his age. And the official art does make him look older, but remember, this is the Link that has been on 4 separate adventures. This guy has been through this game, and then Oracle of Ages and Seasons, and then Link's Awakening. Yeah, he's been through a lot of shit. So I like to think he starts off pretty young. Maybe at like 11-ish. Yeah, this is the same freaking guy. He goes through a whole lot. He's old enough that it's a problem he has no pants. He actually starts wearing pants later, I think. Wait, actually, does he? Does Link's Awakening Link have pants? This is the most important question. Does he have pants? Who knows if he has pants? Alright, on the topic of dungeons, what's next? Oh, it's the Sand Place. Oh yeah, Sand Place looks like this. It's, yeah, it's like decent, I guess. This is another one of those dungeons that you just kind of like chill in. You're not really doing much. There's sand. I usually give a dungeon extra points if it's got like some sort of like correlation between the dungeon item and the actual, you know, thing that you're supposed to be doing in the dungeon. The item of this dungeon is Power Gloves. And like, I don't know, man, Power Gloves doesn't have much to do with sand. Like, yes, you do lift up rocks and then it's pretty useful. You have to dodge like statues, but you have to do that in like every dungeon. There's nothing too fancy about this one. I will give it like a C for, once again, kind of forgettable. You know what, but I like sand. It's not coarse and it's not rough and it doesn't get everywhere, but but I do like sand. Can you get arrested for indecent exposure at 11? Oh, freaking speaking of getting arrested. We'll get to that later, but I do love the plot device of Link being a wanted freaking hero in this one. Like, half the town is out to get him. There are parts where if you talk to certain people, they will, like, turn you into the police. It's actually amazing. But yeah, okay, forgettable dungeon. I'll put it in C. What did you do? It's fine. I didn't do anything, I swear. I just kidnapped one princess, maybe, from her own palace at her request. So it's okay, I guess. I hate french fries and love sand, yeah. Heckin' all the controversial opinions gonna come out here. Yeah, and while those of you who are in the Zelda series are here, I want to say this. I want to say this real fast so I can, like, spark all the controversy. I don't like Ocarina of Time. I don't, like, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's okay. It's like a good game. It was very good for its time, but it does not hold up as much as Majora's Mask. Okay, yeah, okay, you know what? Sylph, you've got a great point. You've got an actual great point. I'll give it extra points for this. For the fact that, that you have to kind of, like, go in and out again. Oh, I just noticed my tier list is a little too wide. My tier list is too wide. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it thicker. Hold on. Yeah, by the way, this is also kind of a trial run for my generic retrospectives and chats thing, so I'm gonna be messing with a few things every now and then. I want to get like a certain setup going, and that way I'll be able to use that from everything else. Okay, let's make this a bit bigger. Whoops. Let's make that a bit smaller. Okay. And then just shrink that down here. And then... Bam. Let's see if we can fit this completely in here. Right when the death occurs. Perfect. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. What does that look like? Great. Okay, now we can swap back and forth between the tier list screen. Let's go. But yeah, you do have to go back in and out. I feel like there is another dungeon, and I do remember this dungeon. There's another one that does that better. And for this one, you only have to go in and out, I think, twice. So you go in and out at, like, the main dungeon part. So if we, like, zoom in here, like here. See, this is the actual map of the dungeon. And, like, you kind of, you go in here the first time, and then you come out of here, and then you go back in there. And, like, that's basically it. There's really not much else you do in this entire place. I think this one is only accessible from some other... I don't actually know. I don't think it's important, though. Like, I don't think that door was important. It could have been, but I don't think it was. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep it... Okay, you know what? It goes higher up. It goes one tier up on C. That's fine. On to the next one. The next one, the Tower of Hera. I think the... Okay, This is where we get into, like... Because, like, is the Tower of Hera itself good? Or is the Dark World good? Because, like, the tower was... okay, I'll give the tower points. I'll give the tower points. Because, like, in the Tower of Hera, so to show you this. So you're kind of, like, wandering through, like, dungeon levels. You're climbing up the tower, obviously. And this is the first one that does a really good job of the whole, like, dropping through the floor mechanic, which is, I guess, gonna become, it gets expanded on later. And essentially becomes the light and dark world mechanic, honestly. Like, you start off in one place, you end up in the other, and you can only go between one and the other. You traverse back and forward. I guess this kind of sets up the concept of, like, starting in one of the sets of realms, ending up in another set of realms, and then going back. So I really like that. I guess that's kind of what it's meant to do. I'm okay with that, I guess. Oh, wait, did I get disconnected? What the heck? Can people hear me? I hope not. No, I'm kidding. Huh. Oh, stream is being weird today. This is really strange. I'm audible? Okay, good to know. Yeah, I just got like a disconnected from chat notification. That's really weird. Alright, whatever. I hope we're fine. I think we're fine. Yeah, I do like this place. I like the fact that it lets you go up and down between floors. I hate the final boss, but we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. Download Audible today, thank you. As you should be. I'm gonna go like this. Because you love watching me battle the cat. We're gonna talk about that later. There is a separate ranking for bosses. I am ranking these purely based on the dungeon itself. The dungeon was good. The dungeon was good. Like, I mean, this was pretty fun. This was pretty fun. Like, the whole, like, wandering through, yeah, I do think, the switches were there in previous dungeons. Moldorm is the worst worm in gaming. Heckin', you're so right. Alright, I'll put it on the tier list. I'll put it, like, it's not as good as Hyrule Castle. It's really not. It goes, like, B tier. B tier max. Alright, and then what do we do after that? What do we do? There's Hyrule Castle again, I think. This Hyrule Castle, second Hyrule Castle is just, like, huge dungeon type, I think. Like, it's like a bunch of freaking, rooms where you just defeat bosses. And then if you fail, you fail, and that's, like, not good. It looks like that. Gonna go consume sustenance and get your ass. Lol. GL then, GL. I believe in you. Yeah, there's just, like, a whole bunch of stuff you gotta fight. There's nothing too fancy about that, really, and there's no mechanic that makes this special, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Not too much you can really do with this dungeon, but Hyrule Castle I've already rated pretty high, so I'll leave it at, like, a high mark. And is there anything special about this one? Here, we can scroll through. There were, like... there were like things. There were like things. Oh yeah, there were like pots. Yeah, okay, that's not special enough. I'm giving it a solid... oh wait, this is the next one. Yeah, I'll keep it an A. I'll keep it an A. Okay, there's not much else there. Yeah, it was just combat rooms on the way up. There was like a set of rooms I remember with like darkness. I do like one specific thing about this dungeon, which is that you actually don't have to fight many of the enemies. And you'll notice me, by the way, I'm gonna now play my video, but you'll notice me freaking fight them anyways. This is unnecessary. I could have just gone through the door. But I was like, no, I will kill this guy. And there is nothing you can do about it. Like, the door is open. There is nothing stopping you from just destroying your own sense of courage. But I had to fight them. That definitely made this harder. And I kind of liked that, actually. I really do think when you're given the chance to fight some enemies, and then you can skip them if you want to make this game just a little bit easier for yourself, but you don't have to skip them, and it's really fun if you want to fight them anyways. I like that, so I'm gonna give it the A. I'm giving it the A. I'm giving it the A, despite the fact that it doesn't do anything special. God damn it. Okay, fine. What next? What next? So then you fight a Ganem, and then you end up in the second dungeon, don't you? Oh, the Swamp Palace. Was that next? Was the Swamp Palace really next? No, there was one before that, wasn't there? Yeah, there's like the East Palace with like Kiki, I think. Did I skip that one? Oh no, it's right here. Okay, never mind. Yeah, the one with Kiki, yes. I mean, I definitely did it. There's no way I didn't. Where's the... Oh, here it is. Heckin' found it. Let's go. So there's there's this one where you just casually find this monkey and he's like, oh yeah, sure. Like, sure, yeah, just give me rupees and I'll let you in. Never give him anything. I mean, you have to. You're kind of required to. I was definitely I liked that. I like the fact that you have to give him something to get in. I thought that was like a decently interesting entrance mechanic, but like after that, do you even do anything in this dungeon? You can go back, you can ask him to get you in. This is the dungeon that looks like this, yeah. Nothing too fancy here either, IMO. You end up going up and down the dungeon. You end up finding out the stuff. We can do some, like, extra seeking. Just kind of, like, scroll through this. Oh yeah, there's conveyor belts. Conveyor belts suck. Conveyor belts definitely suck more than everything else. I really hate those. Yeah, okay, once again, nothing too special about this one other than the entrance mechanic. I'll give it like an extra point for the entrance mechanic, but it's definitely not as good as like Swamp Palace's whole go back outside and inside thing. So, I don't know. I'm giving it like a solid C, but like maybe before this one. Wow, East Palace is just not doing well. Both the Dark World East Palace and the Light World East Palace are just not doing well. But next is Swamp Palace, I think. Yeah, Swamp Palace was actually interesting. So now we're getting to the dungeons that, like, actually do something with their mechanic, which I appreciate quite a bit. In this one, the only way to get in, is to go back and forth from the Light World and the Dark World and freaking drain the swamp, I remember, I think. And then you fill in the inside cavity, and then you can finally get across. So you're stuck in like this little beginning entrance hall, and there's no way to cross originally. Looks like this. Yeah, but then once you fill in the water, you can go in, and that's really cool, because that introduces the concept of like, hey, sometimes things in the Light World are gonna affect the Dark World. And when you got something in the Dark World that you want to affect, you better go to the Light World and figure out what you can do. And that was really cool. Like, I think I remember coming here the first time in the Light World, and I was like, oh, hey, like, why are we draining this swamp? Like, what does it do? It turns out it opens this dungeon, but, like, I would have never known, right? And that's really awesome. The fact that also this entire thing is, like, based on water, it's got some of the hardest enemies. Those weird green thingies, like, not these. Wait, one of them will show up, like, right here, I know. Yeah, this one. Freaking, I can't even follow it with my cursor. This sucks. I hate these green things so much. Those green things are the worst. So I will give it extra points for having that. And for managing to kill me like a good number of times, actually. I was really bad at those green things. And the water spiders and like, the whole thing just put together made for a really fun experience. One that definitely caused me pain, but like in a good way. So I'll give it, I'll give it like a, I'm definitely being biased towards Hyrule Palace here. I'm really being biased. I shouldn't, okay, no, you know what, this one, Tower of Hera goes up one. Tower of Hera goes up one. Water Temple caused me, it's always the freaking Water Temple. Never trust the Water Temple in a Zelda game. I don't know if you guys have played other Zelda games, but the Water Temple always sucks, except for maybe Majora's Mask. I kind of like that one. But in Majora's Mask, you can swim fast, so that's the thing that makes a difference. Whatever. Point being, swimming sucks. This dungeon caused me pain. It gets us maybe like a B. There's nothing too fancy about it, but it gets a B. Gets a B. Alright. A B for Barry. What next? What next? Oh, the next one. I liked this one. I like this one. This was quite nice. Didn't like the Great Bay Temple? Oh. Why? It was so good. I liked it. It was so nice. This is, okay, hold on. I gotta get to the outside point. There we go. It belongs in the ocean, so C tier. You've got an interesting point there. This one's B for Bay. I know it's not a bay. Listen. Close enough. The Swamp Palace is good because this is the, or whatever it's called, this thing. The one with the fire and the swamp. This one is actually great. I'm gonna rank this dungeon really high, and it's because of exactly what you're seeing here, where essentially, the dungeon isn't just the dungeon, it's also freaking outside the dungeon. So not only do you have to deal with this whole, like, stepping on the stars on the ground and then closing up some of the holes in the floor thing, you also have to go back in and outside the dungeon, and avoid the wall masters. Don't forget about those freaking wall masters. Yeah, not only do you have to, like, change the position of the holes and walk around and do shit, you also have to go outside the dungeon, walk around on, like, the overworld, find some hole that leads you back into the dungeon at a different spot. It's really great. Like, the fact that they've arranged the entire dungeon so that you often get shunted back to the exit is also amazing. So, like, yeah, and this is also the one where, so you get the fire rod, and then it immediately makes you use the fire rod by making you burn this large skeleton in the middle of nowhere. So, like, just top tier dungeon design. The fact that, and also you might think, like, oh, the wall masters, like, what are they even doing here, right? The wall masters are there for a purpose. Like, that's just good game design. Because every time the wall master catches you, it brings you back to an entrance. And usually the entrances lead to other entrances outside. So the fact that this dungeon specifically gives you, like, hella wall masters everywhere makes sense. Because imagine you're stuck in the game, right, and you're just wandering around, and at some point you're gonna get caught by a wall master and shunted back to one of the entrances. And that's usually a clue for, like, hey, get the frick out of here, man, like, you're in the wrong place. You gotta enter through another entrance. That's great. And then the other thing is, yeah, burning the skeleton was definitely... Okay, that's true. I guess one small minus point, Tails and Rinja, you've got a point. One small minus point is that skeletons do not look flammable. I got that on the first try. Like, I think I showed up at the large skeleton. The one that looks like this. Wait, hold on, let me find it. Can we find it? It's like over here somewhere. I gotta find that big skeleton. Big skell. Okay, no, I ended up at the moth. It's in here somewhere. There's like this large skeleton in the overworld, and the only way to enter is by burning it with the fire rod. It doesn't look very burnable, that's true. But like, you know, I don't know, I'm used to like dungeons, you know? So I showed up there and I'm like, okay, I just got the fire rod and there's like a large thing here that's blocking my entrance. So I guess I have to burn it, you know? And then the other thing is this whole dungeon is filled with Gyptos, or, you know, the fancy mummy things. And the mummy things take like, what, 8 hits to kill with a sword or something? They're insanely powerful, unless you have the fire rod, and they take 1 hit to kill with the fire rod, which is really cool. Yeah, the whole thing just, it fits together so well. The one thing I didn't like was the boss, but we'll get to the boss and why I necessarily don't like it. It was, or okay, I cheesed it, but like, but like that boss looked really hard. Heckin' amazing boss. But yeah, just this whole temple just did amazing in terms of game design, so I'm gonna rank this pretty high. You know, as far as dungeons go, it's one of my faves. I'm gonna get to my actual favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's gonna go in S tier right now, because just the whole thing comes together so well. It's great. When you have the fire rod, everything... Yeah, this also introduced the concept of arson, which, let me tell you, is one of my favorite pastimes. In video games, folks. In video games, trust me. Alright. After this, what's next? Oh, okay. Oh, this one's gonna go high up, too. Yeah, I think, there's, like, a clear difference between the beginning dungeons and the end dungeons. Some of these dungeons, like, they make sense. Some of them make less sense. but the ones that make sense were kind of towards the end. It seemed as if the dungeons just get progressively more and more sense-making, which is something I very much enjoyed. The next dungeon is, of course, Thieves' Town, and features the boss Blind the Bandit. And yeah, so this is the entrance. You'll notice I have this young girl with me. That's because this is not the first time I'm at the entrance. What you have to do is you go, like, all the way through these, like, up and down. Oh, yeah, there's also 2 levels. I guess, okay, other dungeons have done this, the whole, like, 2 levels thing. And you know, look from the top level to the bottom level, you have to go up and down between them. But this dungeon makes very good use of it. Especially since there's later a part where you have to, like, break one of the roofs on the, like, floors. You go up to the 3rd floor, and then you break a roof. And then, you can let the light in, and then that light is gonna do another thing. But yeah, oh gosh, I'm trying not to spoil too much. I guess we're already kind of spoiling a lot, so I might as well say it. Essentially, the point is that that girl over there is not the maiden you think she is. That is Blind the Bandit, and the whole point of Blind the Bandit is that illusions are their game. It's actually amazing how well this is planned out, where you first have to go up, and break the floor of the 1st floor, I guess. Yeah, you break the floor of the 1st floor, with Bobs, which lets the light into the boss room. And then you go down into the dungeons in B2F over here, and you rescue the girl. She's, like, waiting in that corner. Oh, whoops, it already changed. But yeah, she's waiting in the top corner. And then you have to bring the girl over to the boss room, because, like, you know, like, that's not the maiden, right? Like, why would the maiden just be casually locked in jail? All up until this point, all the maidens you've seen so far are trapped in, like, these weird prism-y sphere things. It can't possibly be her, right? And then, like, Sahasrara warns you too. He's like, dude, like, freaking watch out, okay? Things in this dungeon aren't what they seem. It's so good, it's so good. So you finally end up showing showing yourself down all the way to the... Oh, hey, thank you so much for the gift sub. Heck yeah, really appreciate. Aaron, let's go. Spoiling game released in 1991, yeah. How dare I, right? I mean, to be fair, it's like one of the last games I've played in the Zelda series. I am doing these in freaking backwards order. At this rate, I might do, like, OOA and OOS, and then I'll go back and do freaking, like, I don't know, like, Zelda 2, and then I'll finally do Zelda 1, and it'll be, like, the last Zelda game I play or something. Me being cheap, I have no cash. Relatable! Relatable! But yeah, okay, so this is the top floor, and like, you go down to the side, you break the light. I've spoken about this too much. I love it so much, though. It's just such a well-designed freaking dungeon. And then you finally get over to the boss here. I need to find the boss part. We have to watch this, it's great. Look at this. Okay, look at this, if it loaded. We're just gonna sit here and wait. There we go. Yeah, and then, like, once you bring the girl over to the room in which you've already put the light, she transforms, of course. And it turns out she wasn't actually who you thought she was. This is actually not the only time in Zelda games this is done, but it is definitely the first. So I will give it, like, huge props for introducing this concept. There is another Zelda game in which you do this, and it's actually even worse. It's actually freaking amazing, where in this other Zelda game, which I'm not gonna spoil, because, like, I think someone's gonna play it at some point, and I want you to be surprised. Or at least I want you to have the chance to look at these people and go, hey, that's not real. But yeah, there is an entire other dungeon where you have to rescue NPCs, and after rescuing all the freaking NPCs, it turns out they're the boss, and it was so cool. I loved that. That was, like, a huge part of my childhood, so this really just made me happy. I loved it. It was so good. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. Okay. To the rankings. Yeah, this Blind the Bandit just goes up in S tier. It could be, like, low A tier, but it does such a good job. It's not as good as the Swamp Palace, which did an amazing job working in the dungeon item as well. What was even the dungeon item for this one? I don't even freaking remember. The dungeon items aren't used amazingly well. Was it? Oh, it was the Power Gloves, I think. Or the Titan's Mitts, like the upgrade to the Power Gloves. I guess that's useful. Yeah, I honestly don't think we used that anywhere in the dungeon itself. That was just an unlock for the next section. So I'm not too much of a fan of that. That's why it goes a little bit lower, because the Swamp Palace made use of the Fire Rod. So, heck yeah. Alright, after this... Oh gosh. Some of you might remember this dungeon. The next dungeon. Also, yeah, these are playthrough videos I'm putting on. Yeah, I figured out how to do the shit. Just pulled up my old playthroughs and, you know, watch them. It was actually great. She becomes more beautiful. She found her inner beauty. She finally found her true form as Blind the Bandit. And then she got freaking destroyed, I guess. It's a hard knock life out here. Okay, I'm just gonna play the next dungeon, and I'm gonna, like, suffer internally, because this is, like, probably my least favorite dungeon. Welcome. Welcome to the worst freaking dungeon. Welcome to the worst dungeon in this entire place. I hate this. I hate this so much. Do you guys know how many times I freaking I think like Sylph was here for all of this. Sylph was just watching me suffer. Sylph was actually very helpful, thank you Sylph. But like I freaking hate this dungeon so much. Oh my god, this is the best dungeon. No, it's not. This is lies. Stop. Absolutely brilliant. Oh gosh. Okay, alright. Okay, I love hating this dungeon, and I'm gonna explain why. So, wait, why is the video frozen? Oh, it's because I was actually frozen here. Like, I was just sitting here going like, what is going on? Yeah, So, oh yeah, and this part. This is great too, actually. This is the perfect part to stop in. Watch this. Watch this. It just disappears. What the frick? What is it doing? There's no floor. Okay, and yes, you can drop into the floor and there's other stuff down there, but like, okay. So the Ice Temple is 8 entire floors, maybe even 9, because I think there was like a floor 1 and then like all the way down to like basement floor 8. There's 8, it's literally an iceberg. You start at the top, you go down to the bottom, and you find out how deep the iceberg goes. Each floor gets progressively harder. There's like sections in the dark, there's sections with conveyor belts across the entire place filled with spikes and also small lightning shocky enemy jellyfish looking things. Every floor you end up at has usually multiple ways of going in and usually multiple ways of going out. Most of it is covered in ice, which is slippery and hard to walk on. There are spikes everywhere. There are freaking these things everywhere. I don't even know what they're called, the jellyfish, the electric jellyfish. They're the worst. Yeah, and the worst thing, and also the best thing, like this is why I love this dungeon. The worst and best thing about this dungeon is that not only does it do all of that, it also forces you to go up and down the floors in order to unlock the next section. It was freaking great. Oh yeah, how could I forget the freaking rooms of penguin alligators? There's a room with like, I don't know, like 12 penguin alligators just waiting for you casually. Let's see if I can find it. It was like up here somewhere. I remember this room. I think it was this room, yeah. Wait. Oh, it was not that room. Oh, this is another room with penguin. There's so many of the penguin alligators. I freaking hate them. Here, this is a room. I found it. Okay. Look at this room. Look at this room. What is the point of this room? I hate this room so much. It's just, like, I mean, it exists for a reason, I'm sure. I'm gonna go into it in like 5 seconds. But yeah, it exists for a reason, I'm sure. But like, what it does is you go in and then you immediately get swarmed. Like, just entirely freaking surrounded by these weird penguin alligator creatures that take like I guess what 5 hits, 7 hits, 10 hits or something to kill. I don't even know. Okay, but yeah, I was also talking about the whole up and down thing. So yeah, you have to go. Yeah, and then I literally the only way I could get through this room, and also the whole floor is ice. Yeah, how could I forget to mention? Yeah, this is it. Look at that. Oh, and then there's also an anti-fairy, which at that point I didn't know enough about. I didn't know you could get fairies out of that shit, but you can. Yes, so I figured out how to cheese it, and I think they did mean for you to do this, because there's no other reason they gave you this little corner of safety here. But it's brilliant design. It's absolutely wonderful design. It honestly gives me like Ocean Temple vibes, this entire place, like the fact that you're kind of going up and down and back down the floors. You have to go down to like floor 7 and like flip a switch and then climb back up to floor 5, and it actually locks you out of going back down to 7 the same way you came up, so you have to drop down the floors again. Oh my god, okay. It was a whole thing. The boss, fortunately, was not too hard, so that ended up doing it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just... I'm gonna leave this one. I could talk about this dungeon, like complain about this dungeon for ages. In terms of rankings, I'm gonna be fair, it was a very good dungeon. It was a very good dungeon, I hated it so much. I hated it more than I really have ever should. And then, okay, let's see. The manual elevator of pain. It's the worst because, like, there's a part where, you can go from floor 8, like, up to floor 3. I want to say maybe 7 to 3. There's a part where you can actually climb up from floor 7 to 3, and then when you exit on floor 3 and go to the next room, it locks you out of going back down the easy way. Like, I had thought, like, oh, what a nice shortcut, so, you know, people can head back down to floor 7 at any time. But no, it's freaking... it locks you out, and then you have to go back down through the ice penguin alligator rooms, and the conveyor belt jellyfish rooms, and the rooms with all the gaps in the floor that you have to kind of hookshot across, but not entirely because there are still jellyfish. Oh my god, it was the worst. Okay, I said I would stop, and I will. After that, I think we spent, like, one stream just kind of, like, wandering around and getting items. We got like 5 items in the same stream or something. And more floors than- yeah, exactly! Exactly, what the frick? Why is the Ice Temple worse than Impel Down, huh? Level 4 impel down, that's what it is. Yeah, where's my Kamabaka kingdom? That's what I want to know. Okay, well in any case, what next? What next? What is this? This is... What dungeon is this? Oh, it's the lightning one. This definitely left less of an impression on me. Here, I'll play it. Wait, hold on. This left less of an impression on me purely because it was preceded by the Ice Temple. But it's a great dungeon, and oh, actually, is this where I get the dungeon item? The dungeon item is my favorite item in the game. You guys have heard me talk about the Cane of Somaria before. I love the Cane of Somaria. It's so good. The Cane of Somaria is an incredible item, but I'm actually not going to give this dungeon points for it, because this dungeon barely uses the Cane of Somaria. You're going to end up using it at some point, and that's going to be the next dungeon. I'll talk about that when we get there. But this dungeon's more about, what, like, fancy eyes, I guess? But this isn't even the dungeon where you get the mirror shield, so it doesn't do a good job of it. Yeah, it's like a pretty significant dungeon. I don't remember anything too specifically fancy about it, honestly. Like, you just kind of, like, wander through. Let's skip ahead a little, see if we can find more. Oh, this is the Wizrobe dungeon. Yeah, oh, that's right. This dungeon is nice because of the Wizrobes. So, Wizrobes in general, in Zelda, tend to be pretty difficult enemies. I think, like, you know, I don't actually think you're supposed to have an easy time with them. Like, I think they're maybe supposed to be hard. I'm not sure. I loved the Wizrobes. I don't think I, like, ever got hit by a Wizrobe. Maybe, like, once or twice when there were multiple other enemies in the vicinity or something like that. But what ended up happening was, there's, like, a room on the top where you can essentially just go kill Wizrobes to your heart's content. And that was great. So essentially, I never had really too much trouble with this part of the dungeon specifically because I killed Wizrobes. Whenever I was in danger of dying, I went to the room and killed Wizrobes. So it ends up working out really well. This is, yeah. Yeah, I think so. This is exactly the dungeon. Yeah, we walked. Oh, I wonder if I'll open up the map at some point. Here. This is the map. Wait. Okay, so like, see here? Wait. Oh, I didn't, okay, well, there's like a room here. And there's like a switch, like I want to say like either here or here. And I needed to hit the switch so I could go into a room here. And I ended up walking all the way like around here, going back up here, and then hitting a switch on this corner. And then coming all the way back down, and then realizing there's a switch like right here, and I didn't need to hit that at all. I was like, wait, freaking not worth. Absolutely brilliant. But it turns out that the Wizrobe rooms are well worth it, so I'll give it like a B+. Like, it's not as fancy as the Tower of Hera with the whole floor shifting mechanics and the tiny bit of Moon Pearl usage they kind of hint at you. But it doesn't use the dungeon item at all, really. I don't think the Cane of Somaria was necessary for anything. And yeah, it introduces some mechanics, I guess. Okay, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It was just there. It was there. It was a good dungeon. Like, don't get me wrong. It was a good dungeon, but, like, not my favorite. And speaking of my favorite, I really, really liked this particular dungeon that we've got next. And here's why. Let's see if I can get to one of the cool parts. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, so this. Okay, not that. That's my loading screen. That's what it is. This. Please exit the map. Come on, past Lynn. Come on, past Lynn. Okay, let's go. Yeah, this is Turtle Rock. Heck yeah, it's so cool. Look at it. It's got moving platforms. And the best part of the moving platforms is that they're made by the Cane of Somaria. I really like that. So it turns out that the Cane of Somaria can not just, you know, exist to block things and also, you know, freaking toss it in places, make random fireballs appear out of nowhere, etc. It turns out it's also used as a moving platform generator, and I loved that. I love the usage that Turtle Rock had of that. And it wasn't even just that. Turtle Rock also gives you the mirror shield, right? I think that's the item you get here. And using the mirror shield, you can like deflect like eyeball thingies, which is really cool. It was one of the dungeons of all time. Yeah, the previous one was definitely one of the dungeons. It was one of the dungeons. Like, there's nothing too fancy about it. Yeah, and then like, hold on, let's see if I can get to the parts where... Oh yeah, and then there's this. There's the room with the chain chomps. There's just casual chain chomps. Like, why are they here? I don't know, they're kind of cute though. Like, I like them. They're just chilling. But yeah, there's a whole section where you're on the platforms and you gotta like hit these like fire things, I think? That was near the beginning, wasn't it? Yeah, I found it, let's go. Heckin' right here. Once it loads, that is. No? Is that not it? What is it? Oh, it's here. Same place, just a little bit forward. Yeah, this was like the best part of the dungeon. Yeah, right here. Okay, good. Yeah, so what you do in this is you use the Cane of Somaria to make yourself a platform, and then there's these 4 torches that you have to light in succession. But you have to light them within a certain time frame or else the door closes. So you swap back to the fire rod, and then you kind of like play this game of catch to see if you can get any of the torches lit. It's actually really good. And it ends up being one of those parts where like you sit there and you're like, oh, okay, how? And then you like go through it once and you fail. And then you try it again and you're like, oh, and then you get it the second time. Was actually great. And then yeah, it starts getting more complicated as you go through as well, because like each floor introduces certain new mechanics that you have to do while on the moving platforms. Like right here, all you're doing is just kind of like walking around, thwarting people's plans. But yeah, and like, you know, shooting fire rods, etc. And it's not too hard, you know, obviously you can just kind of like shoot the fire rod like at the right time and get the door open. But later on, you end up in this like freaking maze. Where's the maze? That was great. The maze in the dark. And it looks like this. It's just so well done. The fact that you start off at the top, you have to make the Cane of Somaria platform, and then now you have to juggle like either 2 or 3 items depending on what you're doing. You know, you have to use the Cane of Somaria to make the platform at the beginning. You have to make sure that you've got enough light to see. I mean, I guess you don't really have control over that, really, so you're just stuck in wherever the frick you want to be. And then you have to kind of map out where the platforms are leading you and which wires lead you to which places, because otherwise you're gonna get completely lost in this dungeon. And there's a switch in the middle, you have to go hit it, and you also need to make sure that the magic cape stays on you at all times, because there's also spinny Mario fire thingies that just whack you in the face with your flames. It was really good. It was one of those times where I just like, I sat there and I was like, huh. Yeah, like you're wandering around and look at this freaking network, like it's insane. Some of them are maneuverable. Some of them you can actually like swap between going up and down and sideways on, but the ones that cross over each other, like that here, so that's the exit. I just passed the exit, but I couldn't get there because you have to go around and back down like that. Yeah, it's just so cool. It's really awesome. The way that this whole dungeon was designed is just really brilliant. I love it. And that's not even saying the best part. The best part is later. I guess it's not really even dungeon design, it's just fun. Yeah, it's a great escalation of mechanics. The easy trail starts you off with like the whole fire rod shooty thing. Later on it gives you like this whole gauntlet of freaking fire things and torches, and it's insane. I kind of skimmed through it, but one of my favorite parts was the pipes. I really like how they designed those pipes. That was great. One thing I didn't like about this dungeon is the fact that the mirror shield doesn't do much. You get it in this dungeon. The Cane of Somaria was actually the item from the previous dungeon, and they just decide to use it in this dungeon, like, I guess, sure. Oh, here's how you use the Cane of Somaria, I guess. I don't know if I showed that before. Bam. Yeah, it makes a block and then the block becomes a platform. It's so cool. But yeah, so the item in this dungeon was the mirror shield. It really didn't need to be there. I think, what does it do? Oh, it stops the eye thingies. I guess it stops the eye thingies. The pipes prepare you for the moving platform paths. The pipes were after the moving platform paths, actually, I think. So you can't even really... I think the pipes kind of just exist as a way to, like, connect certain rooms and not connect certain rooms, you know? Because in the bigger scheme of things, like, if you've got a room here and you've got, like, a room here or something, right? And you wanna get from this room to the next, but you don't want people to go into another set and you need to fill up dungeon space, then pipes is a way to do it. It also does kind of connect with the whole volcano, turtle rock, you know, like, theme. I like that. I thought that was really cool. The fact that they connected it with the entire theme of, like, underground cavern and, like, fire and torches and rock and molten lava and all sorts of shit, you know. That was great. I liked it. So yeah, all in all, just a really well done dungeon. It starts off at the beginning and gets you to the bottom in a way that makes a lot of sense. So I am ranking it. Whoops. There we go. I am ranking it all the way up here at the top of S. I think it did an even better job than the Swamp Palace. And finally, but not actually, Okay, this one doesn't have Palace of the Four Swords, so I guess that's a thing. Chain chomps and pipes. Yeah, what more could I want, honestly? Really. Like, it's Mario. It's a Mario. Okay, alright, anyways. Ganon's Tower. Ganon's Tower is like a weird boss gauntlet. Like, you do have to fight the first 3 bosses again. Which, like, it's a thing, yeah. Oh yeah, and you have really stupid rooms like this. This is where I got stuck, actually. Yeah, I got freaking trapped in the middle of these orange things. The game kind of glitched out. And yeah, for a few seconds I played as this red guy. I'm controlling the red guy now, and Link is just trapped in place. That's what's actually happening. Okay, but anyways, the thing that really is supposed to happen here is, yeah, you end up in a boss gauntlet. There's nothing too fancy about it, actually. What do you do? Yeah, you climb up the tower. There's not even any, like, cool fancy floor dropping things like there were in the Tower of Hera. Yeah, there's tough rooms. It was difficult, but, like, I'm kind of rating these more on, like how sensible the game design is, I guess. It combined things you've seen in every dungeon, I guess. So, like, you know, this is bullshit. But, I mean, but, you know, it works, and you're just like, oh, shit, you know? Like, for fun, by the way, that's multiple unkillable guardians, essentially. But they're unkillable, so they're even worse than guardians in Breath of the Wild. On an ice floor with conveyor belts. And other enemies, too. Like, it just goes hard at you. It's like, oh, you thought this was easy? Good luck, have fun. So I did enjoy that, I suppose. It was like a nice, tough gauntlet. Yeah, and then there's rooms like this one which just don't do anything. Like, there's nothing in this room. What is it there for? I want to know. Like, when I was playing this, I was just confused. I was like, what the shit? Is it not gonna attack me? Like, please, attack me. But yeah. Nothing too fancy, was there? Oh, there was this. I liked this. Because this kind of made me think. Ganon's Tower was indeed random bullshit go, TBH. I was expecting something with like a more cohesive theme. Actually, to be fair, like Final Dungeons never really have a cohesive theme. It's more just like tossing everything you've seen in the previous dungeons at you. But yeah, this is just invisible floor. It's just, yeah, the floor is invisible. And it turns out that the solution to the invisible floor is to light the whole place up with lightning. I would not have figured that out. Like, that was one of the things that, like, lightning? Like, why would that show you the answer? I don't know, but it does, so that's the answer. Before we got that, though, we tried all sorts of fun stuff. There are Wizrobes here. You can kind of, like, see where they're standing, even though they float. So, that's a thing. I tried tossing the Cane of Somaria block around to see if I could use that. But yeah, once you use the lightning as so, you can kind of see how things go. Which, like, I guess that's fine. It's not my preferred method of travel. Like, it's generally not. And I really wouldn't have seen that coming. But it's fine. There's other stuff here, too. There's, like, the set of conveyor belts where you can, like, pick either the fast one or the slow one. And the fast one, I think, drops off or something. And the slow one takes you there or something like that. I don't actually remember which one I took. Yeah, it's just a gauntlet. That was fine. Nothing too fancy about it. Was there another temple after this, or do you just... No, you head straight to the pyramid, yeah. And then you head straight to the pyramid, and then you fight the final boss. So, yeah, despite being the final dungeon, I don't know. I really wouldn't put this too high up. Everyone knows lightning reveals transparent. Yeah, how could I have not known that when I hear lightning strike, all the glass I have in my house is just gonna start glowing? Yeah, I for some reason, I would never have thought of that. I don't know if other people did. I just did not. So I'll put this one, I'm not gonna put it in D tier. It's like worse than the Tower of Hera. But it's like... Okay, if I'm rating Hyrule Castle pretty high for having like a boss gauntlet, I have to rate the final dungeon high for having a boss gauntlet, so I guess I'll do this. So I'm moving Tower of Hera up for doing like fun things with the whole falling down through the floor mechanic. And then final dungeon goes here. Hyrule Castle is kind of like the same thing, but less. So, it goes there. I did like the refighting the bosses. That was kind of nice. It was nice to see the old bosses, but now we have like a whole freaking arsenal of weapons. First time we followed the Bouncy Boys. Bouncy Boys were like kind of difficult, I guess, to fight. Not really, but like kinda. The second time you fight them, you're like, ah, whatever. And you fight them on an ice floor, which makes it a lot harder, but still. Oh, here's the room with the conveyor belts. Look at that. Look at that. Look at them. They're conveyor belting around. I'm gonna skip through. See if I can get to the part where... No. I wanna see what happened. I wanna see what happened. I don't remember. God damn it, it just skipped to me passing. Wait, okay, there we go. Ah, there. Yeah, so it's just, does anyone remember Coconut Mall? Anyone remember Coconut Mall from Mario Kart? Because that's what this is. Anyways, so yeah, that's all the dungeons. That's all the dungeons. They're pretty great. I liked most of the dungeons in this game, I'm gonna say. I actually didn't expect much from them. Here, I'll zoom in on the ranking. Yeah. This is the final... There we go. This is the final ranking. Heckin' good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, the escalators change direction, but they change direction in predictable ways. I think it's every level. Wait, they have it in the new Mario Kart? Heck yeah. Everyone can experience those escalators. Nice. Yeah, please go play Mario Kart. It's a good game. I played too much Mario Kart as a kid. Anyways, here's my dungeon rankings. They're pretty great. All the dungeons are pretty great. That's it. That's what I got to say about them. Okay, what next? I'm gonna do a really quick rating of bosses. We already kind of talked about bosses. That's not the bosses, that's the items. I'm gonna do an item ranking, that's fun. I'm gonna like speed through those, but let me find the bosses here. Tier maker. That's what I'm using. Yeah, if everyone wants to see here. Link to the past. There was definitely a bosses one. Here we go. Link to the past bosses. Okay. Okay. So, certain bosses here. Certain bosses here are going all the way freaking up the charts. I hate some of these guys. I hate some of them so much. I probably should have done this in order, but whatever. Okay, first boss is this guy. He's bouncy. B for bounce. Yeah, he's just really bouncy. He just kind of like bounces along. It's actually kind of funny, TBH. It's one of those things where like I did not expect that, you know? Like they just start bouncing and I'm like, oh, okay. You wanna, here, this is what they look like. Like, look at them. Look at them, they're so cute. You know what? Okay, like, rank them in order of hate. Wait, actually, yeah, what am I ranking these on? Am I ranking them on difficulty or am I ranking them on how much I like them? Oh, also I didn't change the topic. Let me do that quick. I'll freaking change the topic. Change topic. Boss. Ranking. Yeah, I'm gonna rank them based on how much I overall... Okay, I'll be honest, like, when I find a boss that's difficult, I like that. So I'm gonna rank them on, like, this weird combination of how much I like them, and how much difficulty they actually involve. But yeah, so, like, this dude, he's chilling. He's bouncing around. He's having fun. Every now and then, they kind of, like, line up, and you have to shoot them. Let's swap forward a bit. Yeah, they line up like this, and then they charge at you, and they're really cute. I like them. They're so cute. Okay, alright. He goes to... B ranking purely for cuteness. Rank them in order of fuzziness, so Caterpillar. Is the Caterpillar? No, the Caterpillar isn't fuzzy, is it? Rank them in order of attractiveness? Oh, well that's easy. Here. Most attractive. Come on, look at him. He's Blind the Bandit. He's just freaking, he's amazing. He can also shapeshift into whatever you desire. So I'm just saying, in terms of attractiveness. Okay, I'm putting them back down. But yeah, Bouncy Boy gets, like, nothing. Sandworms was really boring, TBH. We don't even need to look at this one. Like, it's straight up D. Blind the Bandit is a cutie? Yeah, heck yeah. Like, I don't know why Blind the Bandit felt the need to disguise himself as a maiden when he could have just gotten everybody's hearts by being the way he truly is inside. Heckin' Blind the Bandit. Yeah, the caterpillars are okay, I guess. They look like this. Here. Damn. They exist. You like fight them. That's... Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about these guys. They just kind of like jump out of the ground and then you hit them and there's 3 of them. The best I can say about these guys is they remind me of, frick, what's it called? I forgot. Oh shit. In Majora's Mask, the boss you fight in the Ikana Canyon region, you know the one? That one is way better than this for reasons that I guess I won't spoil. Okay, you know what? I'm freaking spoiling it. Majora's Mask came out in like 2000. It's been like 22 years. Okay, so so in Majora's Mask, the final boss, not final boss, the boss of the Ikana Canyon region is these 2 giant worms, and in the 3DS remake, you get to wear the giant mask and go like full size, and you freaking wrestle the giant worms in your huge freaking form. Like, that was amazing. And then there's also, freaking... In Wind Waker, there's that sand thing. Twin Mold, yeah, that's the one. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I keep forgetting the boss names. Mulgara in Wind Waker, yeah, the sandworm. Essentially, every game does sandworms better than Link to the Past does. But, I mean, this one was the first, so, like, I guess I'll give it that. Like, I can't be mad at it, really. Alright, in any case, that's the end of that guy. He's nothing special. He goes in D tier. D for desert, because that's where you find him. Alright, who's next? Who's next? Oh, I know who's next. I know who's next. I hate him. I hate him so much. Just gonna play a little snippet of that because this game sucks and I hate it. I hate this so much. Do you know how many times I died to this boss? By the way, equipping the book is the only answer here. Please only equip the book. This is the one himself. The man, the myth, the legend. Random Caterpillar. He's got a name, I'm sure. Moldorm, I think? Is this guy Moldorm? I don't actually know. Freaking names for bosses just escape me. But here, look at him. Okay, so you're stuck on this I've actually already fought this guy because he exists in Link Between Worlds as well, I'm pretty sure. And obviously, since Link Between Worlds is kind of a I wouldn't say parody. It's a great reference. It's a reference to this game. So it does a lot of the bosses in a very similar way, sometimes a little bit better, IMO. But yeah, I don't like this boss because not only can you die, you can also freaking suffer and fall. And every time you fall, the boss resets its health. So it's not like you're not like slowly making progress or any shit. You're just dying. Like, yeah, you can only hit him at the edge, obviously. Like, that's expected for any boss, Mario or Zelda. If it's a caterpillar, you can usually only hit it on like the end or on some weak point or whatever. Yeah, and then he just pushes you off a cliff. Look at that. And then sometimes you get knocked down like 2 or 3 floors. It just sucks. Yeah, and then you'll notice me using my time powers to get the frick back up there. Because like, it's not even hard, it's just kind of time consuming. Getting all the way back up to the same floor thing. Like, I can easily do it without losing hearts. It's just, My suffering is prime entertainment, so this boss is S tier. Here's another thing. What was the dungeon item of this? Was the dungeon item related to it? Wait, I'm gonna look this shit up. Hold on. Freaking dungeon item. ALttP dungeon list. Was the hammer? It was? No, hammer I think is first Dark World. It was apparently... Oh, it was the Moon Pearl. That's right. Yeah, of course. So, yeah, you get the Moon Pearl. That has nothing to do with the boss. I can't even give it extra points for that. But yeah, this boss sucks and I hate it. And by hate it, I actually mean I like it a lot, so... So I'm gonna put it all the way up in S tier. It's freaking great. No, I really like the... I really like the design of the boss, because even though it doesn't have anything to do with the dungeon item, it has a lot to do with the dungeon design, which is that it's a tower and that you're climbing up it, and sometimes you get knocked back down and you gotta get up again. So, so let's go, S tier. S tier, it's great. God damn it, stop being happy. This is not true. It's not true. Classic hateable boss. Yeah, you're really right, actually. I love to hate it. I really do. Okay, now, what next? There's a Ganem, isn't there? Am I missing a Ganem? Wait, what? Yeah. Oh, there he is. He's chilling. So Aghanim is a boss. I love hatred. Hatred sucks. Here we go. This is Aghanim. He's just chilling. Wasn't where you were expecting that review to go. Hey, I live for unpredictability. Yeah, Aghanim's actually pretty good. I will give this credit for being potentially the first instance of the death volleyball mechanic. I actually see a lot of similarities between this game and Phantom Hourglass. Like, a lot of the moving platforms don't get used in exactly the same ways, but then they do get used that way in Phantom Hourglass again. A lot of the boss mechanics kind of get used the same way. I can see where they took a lot of influence, and I'm a huge fan of Phantom Hourglass, you guys know that. Aghanim's whole death volleyball thing is used in, like, pretty much... There's so many Zelda games. Like, he does the death volleyball thing over and over again. Like, Ganon does it, like, multiple times. I want to say Ocarina of Time for sure, right? Yeah, I think the final Ganon throws death volleyball at you. When I say death volleyball, I mean specifically that the boss will sometimes throw these, like, fancy ball here. That one, that's hittable, and you can hit it back and reflect it at the enemy. But sometimes... Okay, sometimes they shoot lightning. And sometimes they shoot these weird, like, coagulations of 4 smaller balls, and those are not hit-backable. So you gotta kind of watch out and, like, play volleyball at the right time. I really like that, so yeah. Heckin', actually, yeah, Aaron, you're right. You're right. A for Aghanim. A for Aghanim. He's in Aghanim. He's definitely there. He definitely exists. And then... who's next? Yeah, is there anyone next? It's Swamp Palace, right? Was it, like, Scrub Cleaner Boy? Was Scrub Cleaner Boy next? I think it was. Oh, it was! Yeah, it's Scrub Cleaner Boy. Here. Ah. Okay, so this is giving me PTSD, but not because of this dungeon. For those of you who are here for the secret dungeon, the Palace of the Four Sword. Holy shit. This guy glitched out on me in the Palace of the Four Sword dungeon. And I spent so much time here. But yeah, I was not good at this boss. I was definitely not as good as I could have been. The bug, yeah, the bug in this wasn't the one with the bug though, so I have to say. I can't give him any credit for what his successor did, essentially. Like, the one that you fight in the Palace of the Four Sword is not this guy. So he's a thing that existed. I don't think this boss like gave me any impressions other than just being a guy that existed when I fought him the first time. He's He is though. He's definitely the deadly bouncing DVD logo. He goes in like... He's better than Bouncy Boy. Is he better than Aganim? He's got 2 phases, which is like more than Aganim. I might have to move Aganim down to B tier at this rate. I'll put him above Aganim for now. Because you have to do like the whole hookshot thingy. You have to pull the clouds off of him. That was nice. I liked pulling the clouds off of him. That was kind of cool. Yeah, I like the diagonals, I guess, kind of. Not really. They were a thing that existed. They were definitely a thing. I don't know if I appreciated them enough, honestly. They could have been less of a thing and I would have been okay. B for be gone him. B for freaking be gone. B for boy, because that's what he is. I think the thing about, oh wow. Okay, I'm pulling up the next one right now. Yeah, I think the thing about Aganim is just, like, he doesn't, yeah, he's not that interesting. He's fun to fight, but he's not that interesting. That's the thing. Does he lose points for only having 1 phase? It's, like, not as interesting. And Death Volleyball, I'm giving it credit for the fact that this is the first time that Death Volleyball was kind of implemented in this way, and it's just, the influence on the entire series is insane. But yeah, okay, here's the next one. Here's the next one, I love this one. This is, I speedran this boss. This one is good. So you're gonna watch the entire boss fight. Because I think he just dies. It was great. And that's it, yeah. That's the whole thing right there. Before I can barely give an entire entrance, yeah, he's just, that's him. I think I tried this one like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times. It looked like it would be very hard. And honestly, to be fair, just taking a look at the scene, it's incredibly difficult looking. Like, let me see if I can find the first time I fought him. It was just here somewhere? Okay, I can't find it. Yeah, he exists and he was very good as a boss, but he was easily cheesable. So, I don't know. It's a very good combo though, because like the whole floor, the boss is not supposed to go that quickly. I'm trying to find the actual, here, hold on. Let me, let me find the actual fight. Like, I fought him once. Oh, here it is, I found one. Okay. So this is like kind of what it should be like. Okay. So yeah, you drop in the hole in the floor, and you end up in Mothula's lair. You're supposed to use, this is the dungeon where you get the fire rod. Yeah, and so you can see like, you try shooting the fire rod at him. The first time actually he's always invincible until a certain point, so I didn't realize that. Heck yeah, the bossa, thank you so much for the resub, really appreciate it. Let's go. Keep that streak going, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna do sub badges. I'm gonna do them. I promise. I have an idea. I've drawn it out already. I just haven't finished. I've been so busy. But yeah, okay, so like, yeah, and then you run out of magic, which sucks, because at this point you don't have access to the curse that gives you half magic. It was really, really hard looking. Also, you'll notice the entire floor is surrounded by, wait, hold on. Go back. Yeah, the entire floor is not only on a conveyor belt, it's also surrounded by spikes that also move at you. It was really, really well done. It's such a cool looking boss. Like, look at this. You know, you're just in this gauntlet of freaking death and destruction. And like, you're trying to snipe Mothula from a distance. And the spikes are coming at you. The floor is also moving. It's really good. Actually really good. Hourglasses with different amounts of sand? Maybe, actually. I might do that instead of just the typical hourglass, you know, top to bottom. I don't know. I think it might make more sense, honestly, like a kind of loading screen hourglass where there's more types of sand. I might do that, yeah. That might be it. But anyways, yeah. Boss ranking, yes. Your name seems rather suited for this, the boss. Where would you be on this ranking? You'd probably be above blind, right? Heckin' moon. Yeah, I'll just copy Dust's. S? Okay, alright. Here, this is, I don't have a thing for you, unfortunately. Here, you can just, you go right here. You can go in here. Your name has 2 S's in it, right? So that's why. Because there's only 1 B, there's only 1 A, but there's 2 S's. Okay, well, in any case, Mothula, yeah, he was supposed to be fast, and I liked how I found a way to cheese him. So I'm gonna put him up here, and Aganim gets shifted down to B tier. So he's now B-Gonim. B-Gone to you. Okay, next boss. Next boss is kind of, you guys know where I'm gonna put this, probably. I really, really like this boss. I think I've talked about why I like this a lot. Like, this is just so good. This is so good. We've already seen this, on this stream right now. But here, let's go back a bit so we can watch it again because, oh my god, I freaking love this whole scene. Yeah, the fact that you have to lead an NPC from the dungeons all the way up to the boss floor, and then once you get in, you just kind of like, you slowly lead her into the light, and then shit happens, you know? And it turns out she isn't who she is. That's great. And the fact that they worked the whole like mechanic of like things aren't what they seem into the dungeon, and then just like led you to that final room. Absolutely brilliant. That I have to give all credit to the boss for that. So my guy himself blind. Oh yeah, and then the boss fight itself, like how could I not discuss him? So it turns out, because I was having difficulty figuring out exactly what they're supposed to hint with. They hinted at it at the very beginning on the game? You mean at the very beginning of the temple, right? With like Sahasrara going like, be careful, things are not what they seem. It's really good. It's just so good. Okay, and yeah, and like at this point, you know, you've already found 3 of the maidens. All of them so far have been inside like these little crystal-y prisons, and so you know there's something wrong. Okay, but yeah, so you fight him, his head comes off, he grows another head, and you have to like hit the heads. It's pretty great. I really like this fight too. It was pretty difficult actually, and you can't hit him in the chest or anything, it has to be at the head. Very well done fight. I'm putting him all the way up. Freaking S tier. He's better than everything. Yeah, just like everything that led up to that boss was well done. Very well done. Yeah, okay, I do remember that. Yes, there's like a thief house, and then the NPC says like, oh, you know, there's one, he hates the light. Yeah, exactly. I do remember that. It's so good. It's so good. They like get you started off on this entire pathway of like, it's Blind the Bandit. It's wonderful. I don't know why he's only the 4th boss, honestly. I would have put him higher up on this list because the next boss is kind of underwhelming. Also, Shine with Dark. Hello, how's it going? We are ranking bosses from Link to the Past and also watching my playthrough. Because this is this is a retrospective. Oh yeah, for the people who might be a little bit newer to stream, I have done a very similar retrospective on Triangle Strategy, which is a pretty, actually very fun game. Highly recommend Triangle Strategy, and I also highly recommend watching my playthrough if you haven't. The bullets are all there. I also did a full retrospective on it if you'd like anything like a unit ranking list. I ranked them based on how useful they are, I ranked them based on how attractive they are, I ranked the bosses. I played Triangle Strategy on Deathless Hard Mode, New Game Plus. I played it, New Game, the first time I ever played the game was New Game, Hard Mode, and I got on Golden Route, so I did the entire split and stuff. It was great. Yeah, so I played that game, it was so fun, and I did a retrospective on that too. I'm doing the same thing for this one. I kind of forgot for Live Alive. I might do another retrospective on Live Alive, honestly, because I have a lot of stuff to talk about with Live Alive too. I just did not do it. Anyways, the next boss is nothing fancy to speak of, so I just took that time to load the boss up. That's him. His name is Cold Stare. Actually, he starts off frozen. Let's go back to where he's frozen. He starts off like frozen. I guess I have to give them credit for that, okay? Like, they have this little thing where he's like frozen, and yeah, Link to the Past actually. It's a Lin to the past. Oh, it's me. I'm going to the past. Yeah, I'll give them credit for this. The fact that you have to, like, use your fire rod to melt it. But, while that is thematically appropriate, and I very much like that, I don't like the fact that it essentially takes up, like, what, half of your magic meter? For no real purpose. Like, it's not hard to melt the ice. Like, it's very easy. So it's just, like, a kind of magic gate that stops you from having magic when you finally get to this phase. It was okay. The 3 ice balls are a lot more fun to fight though, so I'll give it like decent points for that. I'm gonna put him... Also, its name is Cold Stare. Like, it's spelled like K-H-O-L-D or something, but like, bruh. Cold Stare? Seriously? Wait, it does look like frozen cotton candy. Wait, that sounds really good, actually. Y'all know how much I have a sweet tooth. Heck yeah. I love sugar. Sugar is great. That's gotta be a thing? Really? Nah. I don't think so, because if you froze it, it wouldn't be cotton candy, right? Okay, well, where do I put it? It's better than... Actually, is it better than Magic Clean Eraser? No, I liked Magic Clean Eraser's, like, double phase better. But I guess the fact that there's... I didn't even really have 2 phases, like, it's just 1 phase. The ice melting doesn't count. Maybe worse than Aganim? Nah. Okay, I guess it's, like, icy and it has to do with the theme of the dungeon. I'll give it points for that. Yeah, okay. That's where it goes. That's it. I might actually... No, you know what? Aganim is better than this dude. Aganim gets to be A tier again. He is now a Ganim again. Good for him. Congrats. Glass fiber insulation candy? Yeah, that sounds painful, though. That sounds pretty painful. Like, I don't know, man. 1 bombos and it's instant melt? Oh. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's really cool, actually. I like that. Wait, hold on. 1 bombos is like a decent amount of magic, isn't it? That makes sense, though. I would have definitely had bombos at that point. I just did not use it. Abaganim. Aganim? Question mark? Alright, what's the next boss? What are we on now? Oh, I completely forgot the first dude. This is a guy that existed. He was like first. Hold on, let's find him. Let's find him. He was in the first half of this one, I want to say. No, wait. Yeah, we're missing him. He's in Palace of, wait a minute. Scroll upwards. Was it at the end of Wizard's Wrath? Yeah, it was. I fought him, like, it took me 5 seconds to meet this guy, I think. I don't remember him because it was so fast. Here. I found him. Yeah, it's the new East Palace ++. I forgot about him. He exists. Okay, this is it? Yeah, this is it. Alright, I'm gonna put that on. There we go. The Palace of the Four Sword variant was really good. Yes, that was actually insane. I really loved that. Oh, yeah, this is the guy. So he just, yeah, you start off like this. This might not be the time I defeated him. I don't actually remember. Let's fast forward and find out. Is it? Nope. Oh wait, maybe yes. I might have like first tried this one, actually. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, so he's got 2 phases actually. I kind of like this one. This one, so okay, yeah, you start off with like helmet phase. And this is a boss that gets used in Zelda like over and over again. Phantom Hourglass has one exactly like this almost. Starts off with the helmet, you know, runs around. The Phantom Hourglass one is a lot better because you do that dungeon with a companion, and I love that. It was so good. But yeah, he gets used in like all sorts of Zelda games, honestly. He's in so many of them. But yeah, like you break the thing first. You can use hammers, you can use bombs. I used bombs, I think it was easier. And then you have to hit him in the forehead. It's not too hard. The tail comes out at like a very specific time, and it's kind of easy to see. So like sometimes you get hit by it because you're trying to dodge the guy shooting fireballs. The fireballs are like the real hard part about that one. Yeah, because they go off and so they go off and they split into 3, and then they split, each of the 3 splits into 4. Yeah, either way though, it's not too bad. But it was an interesting boss actually, because it's got 2 separate phases and they both work together well. I'll give it points for that actually. I'll give it points for that. How about it's like on the level of Magic Clean Eraser. Wish that dungeon was in the original Palace of the Four Sword. Yeah, it's so good. It's so freaking good. I love Palace of the Four Sword. I'll talk about Palace of the Four Sword after all of this because it's not on any of these rankings. But essentially, just keep in mind that like whatever these rankings are, Palace of the Four Sword goes above them. Like all of this is like subseeded by Palace of the Four Sword. No, he's slightly okay. He was less memorable than Magic Clean Eraser. I literally forgot about him, so he goes down 1. But I will admit that he's not as like. He's more interesting than Aghanim. Does Aghanim get shifted down again? Oh, I'll leave him there for now. I'll leave him there for now, but we'll find out. Lynn bias is real. My bias is so freaking strong. Listen. Yeah, the dude who wouldn't let us in. Magic Clean Eraser is gonna get a whole new thing when we talk about Palace of the Four Sword, but we're getting there, What's next? I think we're only missing like 2 of them and then Ganon, right? Yeah, okay. It's the 2 on the list. Turtle Rock, Wizrobe Dungeon. Yeah, Wizrobe before Turtle Rock, so we're gonna go here. And what is he? Oh, yes, I remember him. Mr. Eyeballs. This one is easily cheesable. Like, I love how I cheesed this. It was, it was well done in terms of how cheesable this one is. So yeah, you just, is this the one where I beat him? I don't know. I think I played this one maybe 2 or 3 times. Let's scroll through and see. Yeah, looks like it. So essentially, like, you just... Oh, wait, this is not the one where I beat him, I think. Oh, maybe it is. I can't even tell. Oops. That's the end. Here we go. Okay, let's go. That's the end. Damn it. Maybe not then. Is that good? Yeah, there we go. This is the one where I beat him, I think. So essentially, if you just stand here and you spam sword, oh, and then get killed by lightning. Maybe not. Okay, never mind. This is the one where I beat him. Who knows? Who knows at this time? And then die. Yeah, so if you stand there and then just spam sword, like, I'm pretty sure. So you just, and like, it just, everyone dies. And you can like watch me doing this here. You can also avoid the lightning because the lightning doesn't actually target you. In fact, at one point during this fight, I'm pretty sure it just goes around you. It's really funny. And you'll notice me like not freaking doing anything. And I kill, I think, almost all of the eyeballs, maybe all but 2 or something. Famous last words by Lynn. I know, right? If I stand here, it proceeds to die. I think there's actually, like, Sylph was talking about this, I think, earlier. But, like, there's definitely a clip of me going, watch this, and, like, pretending to do some, or, like, trying to do something, and then freaking falling into a hole in the floor. And I was like, wait, don't watch this. Like, it was good times, man. Absolutely great. Yeah, so yeah, you can kill most of them. You can kill the rest with arrows. I was gonna figure that out. Like, this was the second time I fought this boss, so I was trying out the boomerang. It didn't work. So I swapped to arrows. Oh, okay, apparently I tried fire. Yeah, apparently you cannot commit arson on these things. Absolutely a problem. But yeah, in general, like, I think you just keep going. You kill it with arrows, and then it bounces around at you rather menacingly, in the same way that the bouncy boys do. So, like, heckin' B for bounce. Yeah, I was worried about the bouncing, and then I cheesed it, and that's why I wanted to play this part. This is how you cheese it. So you just stand here, and you keep hitting it, and you'll notice I am not freaking doing anything. Yeah, and then it dies. That's kind of it. So, very nice concept for a boss, but easily cheesable. Can't arson. 0 out of 10 minus F tier. Yeah, how dare they make a boss you can't arson? It's like surrounded by goo. Oh yeah, I think if you walk in the goo, you also take damage. That's kind of cool. Another way is to blast it with arrows. Fun fact, the arrows do not cause knockback damage, I think. So, I believe they do like twice the damage, but I think they're slower to shoot, and they also don't do knockback. So a lot of people might have like, you can stun lock him. I don't think he stuns for long enough. I think your arrows are too slow. I tried arrows for like a little bit, in the first time, I think, and it wasn't like worth it or something. Actually, I might not have tried at all. Yeah, maybe next time I'll try arrows. Heckin' arrows. I was content with my sword method. Because he gets knocked back, which is great. I'm gonna, I liked him better than Magic Clean, but not as good as Mothula. Mothula goes up a ranking, actually. Mothula was kind of great. Like, I love that boss. It was such a nice boss. Okay. And then for the final one, the boss actually, despite the fact that I really love Turtle Rock, the boss was not amazing. The boss, I think I beat on the first try. Didn't I beat on the first try? Wait, what? What? Did I not finish Turtle Rock here? What? Oh, this is Ganon's tower. Oh, that's why. Okay, here we go. So this is the boss. Bam. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Okay, never mind. Yes, the blurriest boss you've ever seen. The only boss in the game hidden behind a pane of loading glass. Such is the way of the true boss of this entire franchise. Oh my god, why is this not loading? All the other ones loaded just fine. Wow, this is... Here, I'll just kind of... Am I connected? I have to wonder sometimes. Okay, so this boss exists. Okay, he's not loading, I'm gonna leave. This boss exists. He's kind of intuitive to fight, TBH. I like that. At least they were like, oh hey, we're gonna color this one blue, and we're gonna color this one red, and you're gonna deal with it. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know, you hit the blue one with fire, you hit the red one with ice, etc. So, yeah, he's more fun than this guy. Okay. Yeah, he was definitely more fun than that guy, because you have to, like, actually put skill into it. I didn't cheese him, I just happened to fight him and beat him on the first try, because it was easy enough. This boss, yeah, apparently all turtles look like that. Yeah, I'm gonna reload this page real quick, because it looks like it's just dying. Oh, now it loads. Seriously? Come on. Alright, now I have to scroll back, though. They know me. Yeah, I only fought this one once, so I have to find the exact time I fought him. Here we go. Oh, seriously? Okay, yeah, there we go. It was just sitting there. Yeah, the one thing that was really interesting in this one is that the fire causes damage, obviously, and so does the ice, but, like, the ice on the floor stays. So, I would recommend not doing what I did. Go after the ice head first. And then, you know, you won't have ice on the floor. Like, that would be nice. I tried getting rid of it with a fire rod. That does not work. But, yeah, it's just ice. And then, yeah, and then you get rid of the 2 side heads, and then more heads show up. And, or, I mean, not more heads, but you have to fight the snake dude. It turns out all turtles are snakes. Yeah, that's something I learned from this boss. Yeah, he exists. Okay, and then finally, of course, we have Ganon. Let's head over to Ganon. He's a good guy, TBH. I did like the Ganon fight, and I think it was something that is well worth mentioning just because of how it works. So, you start here. You start, whoops, here. Okay. And then you jump into this strangely cuckoo-shaped hole. And then you proceed to die. Oh wait, let me find a better... No? How about this one? There we go. Triforce of Power, 100 out of 10. Wait a minute. Someone's got a bias towards the wrong side. You're not supposed to support the bad guy. Yeah, the chicken-shaped hole is kind of funny, TBH. I don't know why it's shaped like that. Like, I do know why. It's because Ganon breaks that hole into being when he's a bat. And... and, like, the bat form kind of looks like this, maybe? Like, it's got, like, legs, and maybe, like, these are the wings. Like, you know? Like, it's like a bat, right? Like this. And then legs. I think that's why he's got the chicken hole. But yeah, so he's just chilling. You hit him with the sword a bunch. Let's go. Yeah, I got knocked off the cliff once. Yeah, that's even better. So he starts off first phase. And he's got like this spinny thing, you know, it kind of starts off easy. We actually skipped the entire first phase in this round, because yeah, so he normally throws that at you. Second phase is this, with the with these freaking fancy, like, I don't even, what are they? They turn into bats, but like at first they're like weird spikes of fire. And you avoid the spikes of fire, they go out in a circle, they turn into bats and then also shoot at you. He keeps spinning his stuff. You can kind of attack him from the right side, but the bats just come out of nowhere most of the time. And then third phase begins, and he starts creating fire on the ground, in like weird patterns. The bats are still there. The bats are doing weird freaking things now. And then I died apparently. And then the fourth phase, he jumps on the ground, which causes, you know, freaking sides of the floor to fall off. Just continues going. And then once the entire floor has fallen into pieces and is essentially just floating in the middle of the room inexplicably, you move on to fifth phase, in which darkness reigns. And he shows you the true power of darkness, and you have to light the torches both in order to be able to see and hit him. And then once you've light the torches, you also have to hit him, and then you finally shoot him with the silver arrows. It's really good. It was actually just amazing the way that it worked. See if I can find, like, at least one of the times where we actually hit him. Because this is, I think, early on in my attempts at Ganon. Here. Alright, there we go. Yeah, okay, and then he turns, like, blue, and then when he turns blue, you... Oh, okay, apparently this is the time I won. Never mind. Heck yeah! And then you beat Ganon. It was really good. I love the fact that they, you know, they made 5 kind of distinct phases. Each of them getting progressively harder and harder. That's one of the issues with boss fights. Sometimes, like, you know, a boss will transition from one phase to the next, and then suddenly it gets easier and it's not as fun to deal with anymore. But with Ganon, it goes in a pretty good order, TBH. Like, you start off with him just throwing the whole spear at you, you can dodge that. Then you get the whole, like, fires, and they turn into bats, and then they come at you, and that's, like, fine, I guess. But the fires are somewhat predictable, the bats are less predictable. And then the fires are still there, and the bats are still there, but now there's also fires on the floor, and then now the floor isn't there, and then now the light isn't there, and yeah, it's great. It just gets harder and harder, and I loved it. The fact that you have to go through, like, 3 separate mechanics to actually get one hit on Final Phase Ganon was also incredible. You have to light both torches, and that uses up magic. And then you have to hit him in the side while dodging any of the fire things that are getting thrown at you constantly. And then you finally have to shoot him with the silver arrows. So all of that put together made for a very entertaining boss, actually. One of the more fun Ganons I've fought, I think. So, he's a good boss. What can I say? He's Ganon. He is Ganon. He exists as the name of this franchise. And I think this game is the one that kind of cemented Ganon as, like, it's not the first time he showed up, of course. He was there in the previous ones. But this game kind of cemented him as, like, Ganon, like, guy that you want to freaking watch out for. Like, actually great. I thought this was based on attractiveness. Hey, have you seen Gerudo form Ganon? Like, I'm just saying, there's something going on with that guy. There's a reason they looked at him and went, hey, this guy is our king, like, right now. Yeah, he's also got a Triforce. Wait, does he have a Triforce? Or not Triforce, sorry. Does he have a trident? Does he? Was it a trident? I thought it was a spear. I thought he was a spear user. No? Wait, now I'm looking. I need to know. What? No, bring out your trident, bro. Bring out your... Maybe it is. Oh, it is. Wait. No, it's not. Hold on. Oh, it is. Oh, I never noticed. So it is. Apparently, we are finding the tridents. Yeah, he's got a trident. I, like, literally never noticed the 2 prongs on the side. I'll be honest, I thought it was a spear the whole time. Huh. Cute enough. The piggy is attractive. Lol. Blind has cuter ears. Are those ears? Is this supposed to be ears right here? I don't even know. Are those arms? Who knows? Yeah, in any case, that's my boss ranking. Apparently no one's in C tier. Here, I'm moving Bouncy Boys to C tier. And actually, no, C for Cold Stare. B for Begonim. B for Bombchu. Because that's the item you use to normally defeat these guys. There. This is the more balanced tier list. A lot of people made S tier, though, actually. These guys are pretty great. I think the one boss I didn't like is just this one. Like, this one is really not worth. Have I ranked Octopath COTC? Yo, I'm kind of down. I have not done that yet. I'm gonna do it. And next up is the NPCs I killed tier list. Hey, I didn't kill any of them. They all just died in front of me. Actually, that tier list goes, That tier list goes Uncle at the top, and then Ocarina Boy, and then the, Priest in the Sanctuary. That's the tier list. Those are the 3 dead NPCs of this game. Because there's a whole set of dead NPCs in this game. Do you know how many people freaking die in this game? There's so many. Alright. Next but not least, items. Items are the mainstay of any Zelda game. Items are amazing. Hold on, let me put this item thing on. Freaking item. Ranking. Heckin', let's go. On top would be 4. Yeah, there's no 4 in here. There's no 4. Here, whoops, wrong one. There we go. Here, just everyone moves down. How do I make a new thing? Whoa! Add a row above. Add a row. Do it. Do the freaking thing. Oh, I might have added like 3 rows. Whoops. I did. Damn it. Delete row. Delete row. Let's go. And then this is just 4. B ranking. B ranking. Are B's items? B's are not items. B's are not on the item list. That's so sad. Why would there not be on the item list? Here. Here, I have an idea. Add row. Please make a row. Okay, I know I made an extra row. I'll delete this one. Delete. Okay. Bees. Let's go. Okay. So right off the bat, we have to get to like the kind of useless ones, you know? In terms of items, some items are useless. Some items are good. Some items don't really do much. The magic mushroom is not, it's listed separately from the magic like powder, so you don't do much with it. It's going down here. What else is here that's kind of like not as good? I'm gonna also just take away anything that's like a downgrade of a previous thing. So like this is the lower tier boomerang. This is the lower tier gloves. These are lower tier armor. Yeah. Okay, there we go. This is the lower tier shields. Can't believe that Gary and Barry are being put on the same tier. It can't be B tier. Excuse me. How dare you put the B's on B tier? That's not allowed. Wait, this is not an item. This is the half magic curse. That doesn't count. This is the golden arrows and silver arrows, right? Okay, well, all bows are going down here. I'm gonna rank all of these as 1. If you don't eat the corn sword, I'm out. Why are you eating the corn sword? Don't do it. Okay, fine. B's. There, it's B, C, D, E, F. I'm not doing... Okay, you know what? How about this? Now people are just gonna wonder. What this is there for. Like, why are you skipping B? That's why. What's gonna go in there? I have an idea. The best item in the game is a bottle because it can hold bees. Like, where would Barry be without a home? You know, he needs a home. He needs a place to stay. He needs a place to essentially continue this. God freaking damn it! Why? Thank you for the gift sub. You guys are great. God damn it. Whose name is Barry the Bee here? What is this? Where are you people crawling out of the woodworks from? Your contributions to society are amazing. Yeah, Barry the Bee, like this started off actually as a joke. I actually was not even thinking of the Bee movie, by the way, when I came up with the name Barry. I literally called him Barry because it rhymes with fairy. Like, I don't know if this is a well-known fact. I wonder, actually, now I'm curious. Did you guys think I was making a B movie reference, or did you guys get the fairy thing, or did you just think I came up with a random name that started with a B? Like, now I need to know. But yeah, for those of you who might be very confused, all throughout, let's say, like, the latter fourth, did you suggest it? I was originally thinking berry because it rhymed with fairy. Yeah, someone suggested it as a B movie reference, right? Yeah, I definitely just thought it because it rhymed with fairy. That was not a thing. Oh, they have to exist in it. Yeah, okay, I'm sure about that, yeah. Understandable. Understandable for sure. Maybe it will summon them. That's actually great, TBH. I didn't know you could do that, that's cool. But yeah, also, yeah, I said it was great without referencing it because I, like, completely forgot. I was like, oh yeah, it rhymes. And then I was like, oh. But yeah, as I was saying, to the people who might be watching this, yeah, so we had this bee. We called it Barry, and he was great. He was our friend. We never actually used him to attack anything. Instead, we kept him safe and protected in his small bottle home, where he watched us go on our adventures. He had many different fairy roommates at many different times. The fairies definitely existed and then got used up and then left. But Barry the Bee stayed with us all the way through. And then finally, before we fought Ganon, I left him with the Dark World Bee Merchant. And he lived a wonderful life with the Dark World Bee Merchant's family once they all got converted to Light World, and it was great. He showed up in the credits. It was amazing. So Barry the Bee was an important player of Link to the Past. Alright, that said, let's freaking, yeah, let's freaking go back to the other thing. And to be fair, fairies are very useful. Blue Potion is probably the best, in general. The reason I would keep usually, like, a fairy and a blue potion is because, blue potions do fill up all your hearts and also your magic bar, but fairies are, you know, they catch you when you're dead. So I really do appreciate that in general, so heck yeah. Yeah, let's go a little fast on this though. So what other items am I ranking, like, kind of lowish? Like, what do I not like? Dar, hello, how's it going? Great to see ya. So the ocarina does fast travel, the bow and arrow is pretty useful. Oh, I didn't put the swords. Okay, so knight's sword does, like, nothing. Here, I'll put all lower tier swords in here. Bonjour. Bonjour, my lord. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start with the top, actually. I'm gonna start with the top, because you guys know exactly what I'm gonna put on the top. The best... God damn itself, why? Why must you do this to me? The best item, my favorite item in the game is Cane of Somaria. I really love the Cane of Somaria. It's not, like, a powerful item. It's nothing like, you know, the hammer and Phantom Hourglass. You know, it's not the sort of thing that you can just destroy enemies with. But it is the sort of thing that, like, you use it in very situational times. And when you use it, it's always so fun. Like, there's this one part of the Palace of the Four Sword where there's a conveyor belt leading up to a switch, but you can't reach it. And even putting a bomb on the conveyor belt wouldn't do anything because the switch is kind of an offshoot that you can't reach. The only way to hit it is to throw a block down with the Cane of Somaria, and then wait for the Cane of Somaria block to reach the switch, and then explode it. That was really cool. I really liked that. So just top tier in general. Hookshot I'm also gonna rank pretty highly. I liked it. I think it's essentially like a damage dealer when you don't want to use up arrows. That's what I used it for. I know it's supposed to, you know, you use it to get across places, and I did like puzzles involving hookshots. I'm putting that at pretty high. Bombs, I mean, in terms of items, bombs get used in, like, every Zelda game. There's nothing special about bombs in this one. They get used. They're normal. The Dark Mirror goes in, like, high S tier. The Dark Mirror is just... The whole concept of, like, the light and dark world and how you play between them, that leads you to different places, leads you back into old places through different ways, that's just brilliant. And I think this is one of the few games I've seen do it very, very well. And actually, it's, let's see, I think Four Swords Adventures maybe does it kind of something similar. Not as good, but just... Yeah, it's really well done. Yeah, and it's also the escape rope. So it does two things at once. Leads you back to the dungeon entrance. We also found out, like, I think halfway through the Blind the Bandit dungeon, halfway through the Thieves' Place, that you can reload items in pots when you use the magic mirror. So go through a dungeon. If you feel like you're kind of running out of hearts, just go back to the beginning. All the pots will be right there. You can break them and get magic, get anything you want. It's really nice. So yeah, magic mirror, just top tier item. The way that you use it on the overworld is honestly one of the best. Okay, what else? The cape is very interesting. A lot of Zelda games have a sort of item that gives you invincibility, actually. I'll put it here. I'll put it here. Because, like, the cape, it's pretty good. You use it for a puzzle, like, I think once or twice. It does not let you go through blocks, but it does allow you to skip any item that involves collisions. So, like, for example, the bouncy thing, You can kind of just throw the magic cape on and then walk through the bouncy things. They won't bounce you backwards, but you can't walk through blocks. But other than that, like the way it was used in Turtle Rock, I talked about this earlier on stream, but the way that it was used in Turtle Rock, where you just kind of like, you're swishing through the weird cavern with the floor being not underneath you and the Cane of Somaria platform under your feet, and there's fire everywhere and you have to dodge the fire with the magic cape. That was good. That was very nice. But yeah, I mean, like Nehru's Love is better by default, I guess, because it like, you know, stops damage, I guess. I mean, in terms of invincibility items, like, I guess, like, there's a shield spell in one of the original games. You have Breath of the Wild, you have, 3-hit Daruk's Protection. Okay, Magic Cape is actually better than that. Yeah. Yeah, okay, in terms of, like, invincibility items, I'll put it near the top, actually. I do like it a lot, so it's going top of A tier. Yeah, it's better than a lot of invincibility items that other links get, actually, so I'll give it that. Fire Rod. Fire Rod and Ice Rod, I want to say I like the Fire Rod, really. But the Ice Rod doesn't do much. I know that you're supposed to use the Ice Rod to freeze enemies and then hit them with the hammer, and I think that gives you magic. But, like, I never needed to, and also it uses magic to do that. So, and it's also, like, I think a percentage chance of giving you magic or something like that. So it wasn't really too useful. At any time when I needed magic, I could get it in a more reliable fashion by simply going back to the dungeon entrance, honestly. So, Flippers are very cool. Kind of a mainstay in the Zelda series. There's always something that allows you to, you know, swim. You get like a scale, or you get like a Zora tunic. Yeah, whatever. It's Flippers. There's nothing fancy about them. Normal Zelda item. Mirror Shield is actually going in D. And here's why. Because the Mirror Shield in like literally every other Zelda game is used way better than this one. The Mirror Shield in this Zelda game does not take advantage of the fact that it is a Mirror Shield. All it does is block the ice, or not ice, what am I saying? All it does is block the eyeballs that like shoot lasers at you. And like, not really necessary. The Ice Rod is the Turtle Hydra puzzle item. I'm not sure what you mean. You get the Ice Rod from like this place in the side of the map. It's not in the turtle place. Do you use it in the Turtle Rock or something? Oh, I mean, yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair, Mars. I guess you do use it against the Turtle Hydra. You use it in one boss fight. Actually, yeah, wait, fun question. What do you do if you don't have the Ice Rod? Because you can definitely just go through the game and not get the Ice Rod. Huh. Wait, are you just stuck there? That would be interesting. Huh. Well, I don't know. I don't know, I did have it, so I guess we're fine. The Moon Pearl, I mean, as an item, it's there kind of as a plot device. It doesn't do anything. The Dark Mirrors, I'm gonna credit the Dark Mirror for the whole transformation and going backstage. And the Moon Pearl, by the way, doesn't even properly work because you can still get turned into a rabbit when you have the Moon Pearl. So it doesn't work. It's worse than the Ice Rod. But it's not worse than the, yeah, but it's not, it doesn't work. You can still get turned into a rabbit. It doesn't work. It's a faulty Moon Pearl. The Moon Pearls actually do something different in Four Swords Adventures, the only other Zelda game with Moon Pearls. I think. Wait, doing a quick check. Yeah, okay. In my own brain. Yeah, I think Four Swords Adventures is the only other one with Moon Pearls. And I think they use it better. You can like go through moon gates and stuff. I don't remember FSA as much as I should, but like I feel like it was used better there. So as far as tunics go, I like the design of the red tunic, so it goes up in C, but it's once again a standard item. Hammer, just compared to other Zelda games, the hammer is not useful. Like there are, Dust is just casually. Listen, Dust, a good Moon Pearl would be worth it. A bad Moon Pearl, wait, actually hold on, the Moon Pearl stops you from turning into a rabbit. Would you not want to be turned into a rabbit? I think this is the opposite of what you'd want. Don't forget, that's true. Link does make this like little, and like, it's very cute. I'll give you that. I mean, C tier for fashionable reasons. Wait, I mean, I actually really like the red tunic in terms of how it looks. Here, I would put it, I'm putting it at the top. It's better than the bombs because it looks pretty. I like it. It's red, you know, it's nice. The red tunic is most powerful in, let's see, well, in Awakening, doesn't it like trade off? There's like red and blue, the color dungeons. And you can get either the red one or the blue one. I think the blue one gives you defense and the red one gives you attack or something like that. I think Link Between Worlds also has a red tunic and that's the most powerful, I want to say. What happened to B tier? It got moved to the top. Asking the real questions. It got moved to the top because bees. Yeah, it exists. Magic armor. Oh yeah, Twilight Princess magic armor. Yeah, it's Well, okay, magic armor in Twilight Princess uses up rupees, doesn't it? Not worth. Not worth. And it's also, like, a lot fancier. I didn't like that. Wind Waker magic armor is better. Yeah, just in general. I like how the red tunic looks. It gives you defense. I don't know. I can't ask any more than that from it, really. It gives you defense. Titan's Mitts. It's a puzzle item. You don't really use it in any, like, fancy ways. Like, it just gets you into places you couldn't get into before. Same thing as the bombs, but different. I'll put it... Yeah, okay. Like, all of these just get you into places you couldn't get before, and then once you get the right level of them, you unlock the next section. Like, that's fine. I don't think there was anything too... Yeah, I don't think there was anything too, like, revolutionary that you used throwing ability for, which kind of sucked. I would have liked a lot more of, like, the whole, you know, chucking things into places for very specific reasons type of thing, but they never really make you throw anything anywhere, so meh. Magic Powder. I would have rated this as useless, but somebody told me on the last stream that you can actually use this to get fairies, and, like, heckin' would not have thought that. Also, you have to spice the magic ketchup to get yourself the curse. So, heck yeah, Magic Powder. It does some weird shit, but the stuff that it does is understandable, and is actually pretty great. Speaking of the magic curse, not as good as, like, the cool game-breaking items, but it's definitely a thing. Magic curse, what it does is that, so there's, like, this pool of blood you find somewhere. It's like a cauldron of blood, I guess. I like to call it magic ketchup, because you have to spice it with the magic powder. Yeah, so you find this, like, cauldron of blood, and you just toss some magic powder in it, and this bat comes up, and the bat is like, hello, nice to meet you, and it's just very polite. It's like, I'm gonna curse you now if that's okay with you, and you don't have an option to say no. So he curses you. And the curse actually means that you don't have to spend as much magic doing anything. So all items now cost half magic, which is very nice. I love the little curse bat. Curse bat is my bro. He's my friend. Standard bat behavior. Yeah, don't you know, if you find a bat in the real world, just ask it politely, and maybe it'll curse you too. You saw the magic powder as a bag of worms? Oh, like this part. Oh, that's good. I didn't think of that. Wait, what goes into that magic powder? Holy shit. I mean, I know it's a mushroom, but maybe other things are in there? Yeah, I'm gonna curse you with a blessing. Exactly. Lantern, yeah, it's a thing. There are other Zelda games with lanterns. Most of those also have fire rods, except for, like, Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess gives you a lantern, and then you have to, like, because Twilight Princess Link doesn't have magic. Wait, does he have magic? I don't think he has magic. Instead, you just have, like, an oil bar. You have to, like, actually fill up the oil for your lantern. Like, imagine having to deal with oil. Hahaha. Can't relate. Links in these, back in my day. Actually, wait. They happen in the same time in the time, just in different timelines. But yeah, back in my day, says Link to the Past Link. We used magic to power our lanterns, not oil, like some industrialist. But yeah, I'm gonna put that here because it's a normal item. Actually, it's better. It's slightly better. I guess you have to, like, light lanterns in cool ways sometimes. That's fine. The shovel was cool. You use the shovel to find the ocarina. Other than that, I don't think there were any puzzles that involved the shuttle, which is kind of sad because in, like, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, a lot of the other games with shovels, they involve things like something, a lot of people tend to hide their valuables in front of their door sign, and then you go, like, dig underneath their door sign, you get, like, 200 rupees, and you take their life savings and run away with it. Nothing like that in this game. Just a shovel. It shows you some stuff sometimes, but you do use it once, so I'll give you that. Bow and arrow. The shovel gambling, oh, that's true. Okay, you know what? I really like the shovel gambling game because the same thing exists in Phantom Hourglass, and I hated it. So, I'm just saying. It was good. It goes up to A tier just for that. The bow and arrow is a thing that exists. I mean, it's a pretty normal bow and arrow, but extra points because it's what you need to kill Ganon. Like, this is the silver bow, silver arrows or whatever. It's nice. It's like the hook shot. You can kill enemies with it, you can solve puzzles with it. Actually... Oh, there weren't any... wait, were there no eye-shooty puzzles? I don't think there were any eye-shooting puzzles, wow. Wow, I'm so used to, like, the little eye in the wall that you shoot with a bow and arrow, but I don't think there were any of them in Link to the Past. Alright, it goes here. It's better than the fire rod because you use up arrows. Did we open up a wall by shooting an eye? Terrible hitboxes. It's really slow, that's the problem. I don't think the hitbox is too much of an issue, but, like, it takes so long to shoot one arrow. It's a lot faster in any of the other Zelda games, it felt like, at least to me. Like, they nerfed it by making it slow. Did we open? I'm trying to remember when we opened a wall by shooting an eye. That might have happened. If it happened, then I guess it's worth. Mostly, I remember the eyes shooting me. In Link to the Past, eye shoots you. So, Bugnet is great because you can use it to catch fairies. Like, that's funny. I didn't expect that. I'm pretty sure we've done that before, but like, normally you use the Bugnet to just catch bugs. But like, whole fairies. And also you use it to catch bees, so how could I not rate it highly? Book of Medora is awesome because it's a book. Actually, it goes up below the cave. I'm being very, like, this is very biased here. Here, I'll put these up in best tier so that you understand that the Dark Mirror is actually the best item in the game. I just love the Cane of Somaria and the Book of Medora for reasons. It goes in best tier. There's a statue in the Palace of Darkness. You shoot in the eye to open a path. Is Palace of the Darkness, is that the first one? Oh, I freaking... I don't remember. I don't remember that part. There's been so many times in Zelda games where I have shot the eye in the darkness that I am now freaking... B is for biased. Wait, you're freaking right. Heckin' great. This is it. But like, Dark Mirror is just... It's so good. What else? What else? This is protection, but better. So where is the magic cape? Oh, I put the magic cape that high. Yeah, actually, props to Link to the Past Link for having 2 separate items of invincibility. I actually did make very good use of the Cane of Burna for the Four Swords boss. We did some good plays with Vio. So we'll move those. Actually, wait, they're not lower than the shovel. Here. There we go. Yeah, both the invincibility items are here. Cane of Burna is slightly better because it does damage. That's about it. -1 point for annoying noise. Well, how else are you gonna prove to your enemies that you have the Cane of Burna itself? Heck, maybe the Cane of Burna's annoying noise is the signature of Burna. Like, it's just Burna shouting at you from beyond the grave. He's like, hey, you're using my item! I hope you're happy! Alright, Ocarina is your normal teleportation device. It doesn't do anything other than that. It's just teleportation. So, like warp portals, it's better than the shovel. Maybe not better than the fire rod. There we go. Yeah, fire rod solves puzzles and does fun things. Teleportation is useful, so it makes it into A tier. But it's like a normal Zelda game thing. Like, everyone has some method of warp. Twilight Princess, you warp with Midna. Skyward Sword, you pray to the statues. You get a loft wing sometimes. You know, there's always warp. Pretty normal. I liked other methods of warp better. Like Cyclone Slate, pretty nice. I guess the Dark Mirror also counts as a type of warp, although it only warps you between the Dark and Light worlds, so eh. We do get to hang out with Zephyr, yeah! Heck yeah! Zephyr. Zephyr's the best. Okay, I'll give... Okay, freaking... Because of Zephyr. Zephyr 2.0! Yeah, the Minish Cap, which also does take a lot of inspiration from this game. Yeah, I like to think actually that Minish Cap kind of is inspired by Link to the Past. Four Swords Adventure is also inspired by Link to the Past. And then both of those kind of filter into Phantom Hourglass. So Phantom Hourglass gets its stuff through like 2 layers. 2 layers away from Link to the Past. That's how I see it, at least, in terms of their creations. Boomerang actually is a great item in this game. I'm giving it plus points because it stuns enemies. It does that in like... Okay. Wait, actually, yeah, it stuns enemies in like a lot of games. But the way that it stuns them here is very nice. Also, the upgrade with the magic, very cool. You can shoot in diagonal angles, also amazing. It's the only thing that moves diagonally, actually, so it's better than the hookshot, just by terms. So, great stuff. All Legend of Zelda games are super difficult as a non-English speaking chat. Oh no. Did you, understandable, by the way? As someone who also speaks a language that, like, no one would translate a Zelda game into, understandable. But at least I did know English when I was playing them, so I can't imagine playing them without English. That sounds very difficult. GG. Heckin', sounds good. The sword is, I mean, it's the Master Sword. This is actually, like, the most advanced form of the Master Sword, because we're going to assume here that this is the Master Sword that has been fully powered up by all of the events of Skyward Sword. And then, I guess, the Hero of Time didn't use it properly, so it isn't, like, completely dead. And then, yeah, and then you temper it, and then you also get it, like, goldenified. So, it's a top-tier Master Sword right here. The Corn Sword. I mean, Tempered Sword also, but, like, Corn Sword for the win. Heck, you know what? Carrot Sword is gonna make it out of D tier, just because it's a carrot. It's a carrot, you know, and you're a rabbit. It's perfect. It makes total sense. Alright, and then last but not least, Pegasus Boots, this is the first time they were used, you know? And they actually don't get as much use as I would like. I feel like Four Swords? Maybe Triforce Heroes or something? One of the other things does that. there's like a bunch of the little toon games that have Pegasus boots, but this is the one that did it first. This is the one that did the whole knocking the Book of Mudora off the shelf thing. So I can... We'll toss it in here. Toss it in like, It's more new than the boomerang, I guess. Yeah, you do use it in a pretty interesting way. And actually, now that I say that, Hookshot and Bow and Arrow and Ocarina, they're all used in pretty normal ways. Cane of Burna and Magic Cape are a little different. You do have to solve puzzles with them, so I'm moving them up. Just came back and you agree with us. The veggie swords need more love. Corn, carrot. I'm just saying. Hylian to English translator. I think there is a thing, but I also think that different Zelda games have different Hylian. So there is like ancient Hylian and stuff. Some games actually, some games involve you translating them in the game. So like in Wind Waker, for example, once you finish the game, you can play the game again. And when you play it the second time, you get to finally understand all the ancient Hylian. So like there's this conversation in Wind Waker where you are sitting there and the King of Red Lions is talking to this whale. And it's just, they both talk in ancient Hylian. Or wait, no, I think the King of Red Lions might have said things in English. I don't actually remember. Definitely the whale is talking ancient Hylian. So like you're just sitting there like watching and like the whale is just like chatting away and you're like, bro, what you saying? You have to go back and play the game a second time to find out. So absolutely amazing. Okay, now we have the medallions. So this is Quake, this is Aether, and this is Bombos, isn't it? Yeah. I didn't use them as much as I should have, honestly. I really didn't. Aether medallion is like pretty good. If Sylph is still here, it's a cry for help. Are you playing Dark Souls? Is that what this is? Laughs in evil. The veggie swords are OP, TBH. I drew Orange Fi earlier. Freaking hilarious. I love Orange Fi. Yeah, I'm gonna... All the medallions are pretty much equal. Like, okay, Bombos doesn't get used for much. So Bombos goes down to, these two are required to unlock dungeons. This one is not. Actually, I kind of would have liked it if the Bombos medallion was required to... Wait, why didn't they do that? Okay, imagine this, okay? Instead of the Bombos medallion just melting the boss in the ice temple, they could have freaking... Because, like, look at the... See, the ice temple in the Dark World is temple number 5 in the Dark World. And 6 and 7 are the Dark Swamp and the Turtle Rock. And Dark Swamp and Turtle Rock require the lightning and the quake to get in, respectively. And Bombos medallion it could have been used for the ice place. You could have like have to show up there and the whole place is frozen and then you use Bombos to get in. Like that would have been cool. They didn't do that, so oh well. Sad. Alright, there's the items. There's my items list. We'll zoom out a bit and see if we can get all of them in one shot. Heckin' items. It's a missed opportunity. It would have been so cool. Yeah, to finally use all the things. That would have been great. There we go. B for biased. Heckin' B for biased. The Book of Mudora really should be lower than this, but I do enjoy the way that they used it. It's the sort of thing that, like, it really does link to the past, you know? And that's why I'm gonna put it up here. I'm not just biased, I have my reasons. Because it's the whole reason you're, you know, in this mess to begin with. You go get the book and you use it to enter the swamp, I want to say? Yeah, the swamp, by reading the Ancient Hylian. You go over to the Master Sword dude and you just... You read the Master Sword stuff and it's like, raise it into the air and you're like, I could have figured that out anyways, but heckin' great stuff. Yeah, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Unless you have the entire Triforce, apparently. I feel like Ganon would disagree. Alright, good stuff. Heckin' items. That's all for the items. Alright, and so the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about in this Link to the Past ranking, in general, is... Oh, wait, okay, no, how could I forget? Sorry, there's two more things. The second to final thing. Power is power. I'll be honest, you need a bit of both, right? You need a bit of everything. Okay, wait. Where is the freaking Palace of the Four Sword? Okay, so the Palace of the Four Sword is very, very cool. I can't not talk about it. So like, it's loading. Let it load. Let it load. I just realized the abbreviation is POTFS. That's not great. Here, okay, Palace of the four sword sword. There we go. Heckin' great. Let's go. Four sword on lockdown. Apparently this is just gonna keep loading, so I'm gonna restart it again. Yep. Do we get stuff? Apparently we don't. Okay, yeah, here we go. So you enter the Palace of the Four Sword, and it immediately takes you to this room filled with chain chomps, which looks like... yeah. I have to find the stuff, so feel free. Okay, here's the entrance. There we go. Yeah, so it immediately takes you to this room filled with chain chomps. And then you end up in this large, like, dungeon-ish area. It's got, like, enemies everywhere. I killed all of them, doesn't really do much. And then there's 4 separate doors you can go down. And one of them leads you into a place like this, where you've got, traps. You've got, like, weird, like, rocks to go down. You have to kill off these bats. You have to do, like, a little bit of jumping to get past here, like, once you've destroyed this. It turns out that you have to rush into this block. Like, I would never have figured that out. That's awesome. Like, I also thought about, like, you know, throwing... I think someone else recommended, like, throwing the Cane of Somaria block and then hookshotting to it. Like, that would have been cool, but apparently that's not it. You just have to rush into here. Freaking... Wait, whoops. Yeah, and then you bounce backwards. Like, that is really cool. There's a lot of, like, very interesting puzzle-solving things that just... I really enjoyed. I thought they did a great job with it. And I think after here is... Yeah, and then you refight some of your old enemies. For example... Guess who that is? That is not Link's uncle. That is Blind the Bandit. Heckin' Blind the Bandit is just waiting here, casually. Just chilling. It's absolutely brilliant. I love the way that this is set up. And like, you know at this point it's not gonna be him, right? And you're just like, Like, I think I left to save. I was like, oh shit. That's Blind the Bandit. Absolutely brilliant. I'm gonna... Yeah, let me just skip to fighting him. Yeah, and he does all this, like, he gives you a freaking monologue. That's amazing. It's freaking brilliant. I was so down. Yeah, and then you're just sitting here wondering, like, because imagine you're Link, okay? And you've just been through a lot of shit. You're in the Dark World now, okay? You've, like, rescued the 7 maidens and you haven't yet fought the boss, but, like, you're going to. And then your dead uncle is just waiting in the next dungeon, like, Link, please. I'm so sorry. Keep me alive. And then it turns into Blind again. Holy shit. That was amazing. So that was great. And then you get, like, I think the purple sword was after this one. So I was like, oh, heck yeah, Vio. Let's go. Yeah, you guys have heard my theory. You guys have heard my theory at this point, which is that, I like to think, and I think Errant actually mentioned this earlier, but, yeah, so Four Swords Adventures is actually in a different place on the timeline. It is not before Link to the Past. Four Swords is before Link to the Past, but Four Swords Adventures is after. And Four Swords Adventures is the one that the manga is technically based off of. Four Swords Adventures takes place after Twilight Princess, in fact, so it's not even in the same branch of the timeline. But I like to put it in a slightly different place. I like to think that Four Swords Adventures happens directly after Four Swords, and that Ganon travels back in time to get there. It's one of my favorite little headcanons. And that explains the existence of the Palace of the Four Sword entirely. Because that means it's the same guy who fought through the adventures of Four Swords, you know, used the Four Swords, split into 4 people, and then shows up for Four Swords Adventures and has to do it again. He shows up, he's got Ganon, Ganon corrupts the Dark World, and then the hero himself gets corrupted after the adventure is over, and trapped in the Dark World, where Link has to fight him. And in fact, let's zoom over to that fight. Oh, you know what, actually, before we get to the final fight, we have to mention this dude. So, so I can't possibly let this retrospective pass without mentioning the refight of, of Mr. Mop Cleaner Boy. The problem with this boss is not the boss itself. It's just that the glitch I was using to try to get in here ended up locking out this very specific enemy. And I was stuck here for ages. You can watch me freaking break the game trying to get in here. I think I left the entire battle. I, like, walked off screen at multiple points. The emulator destroyed. Yeah, we spent, like, so long just getting crashed here. So I was like, alright, we're gonna need cheats to destroy this. So I so I started walking off screen. Like, it was necessary, I promise. Yeah. Just got absolutely murdered. Finally we did find him. It was actually terrible. We finally found we found the hidden enemy. It was this dude. And so I wanna say here, if you're using the Game Shark glitch that gets rid of the fox in the starting screen, if you're using that to enter Palace of the Four Swords on an emulator, then I do warn you, once you use the glitch, just turn it off. That's all you have to do. I didn't know that, so I ended up having to turn it off in the middle of the boss fight and then like, and then turn it back on later. But yeah, just make sure that once you've entered the palace, turn it off when you need to actually fight this boss. Because apparently one of the specific little lightning thingies ends up sharing a sprite layer, I think, with the fox at the entrance. So when that gets deleted, this guy gets deleted too, and he's impossible to attack. And what ends up happening is that when you like use anything against it, like bees, any type of item, they not only don't hit it, you also lose the bees. So yeah, good times all around. I have not played Hollow Knight. I need to play Hollow Knight so I can understand the Umu references. I've seen a picture of Umu, I think. That might be all I have. And then of course at the end of the palace, when you've finally gotten past everything that you could in this game, you end up in the Room of the Four Swords, and you've collected all 4 swords at this point, and they kind of just chill in the distance, and you fight the Corrupted Four. I think they are originally supposed to be, they're supposed to be just darks of Link. Like, essentially, dark versions of Link like you fight in many of the different Zelda games. At this point, there has been, let's say, Ocarina of Time has you fight Dark Link in the Water Temple. Original Link fights Dark Link, or like a shadow version of Dark Link. Four Swords Adventures has a Dark Link. I want to say like Spirit Tracks or something, I think, has like a Dark Link in like a dungeon somewhere. I think Between Worlds might have it as well. But yeah, just in general, it's really fun fighting a Dark Link, because you know what you can do, but like the Dark Link does it better. And in this case, Dark Link also has abilities you don't have, like that one, for example. Each of the Links has a very specific different attack. So Green Link uses dash and the normal sword. All of them have shields. And all of them can also do their predecessor's attack, so you'll watch Red Link do Green's attack here. But yeah, heckin' Red spins at you. And then I'm gonna have to skip forward to where we actually met Blue, I think. So this is here. There we go. That should go. Easiest boss first try, really? Really? For the Umu thing? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't, I need to play Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight sounds very fun. Normal Umu is still fine with Pantheon. Ah, gotcha. Does Ganon go back in time to collect the various different Dark Links? He's just got like a pantheon of Dark Links. He's ready. That would be hilarious. No, I think the Four Sword itself is known for splitting people in 4. So I mean, that's my theory, is that it's the hero of the Four Sword himself. He's been corrupted. There's actually only a few links that go into the Dark World at all. There's yeah, okay, wait. I want to do this fight though. Play it now, this instant. I can't play Hollow Knight now because there's too many good games I have to play. Yeah, and then Blue does this weird ground pound thing at you. Let's see if he's gonna ground pound at me. Freaking do it. Oh, I think this is where I killed him. Yeah, that's terrible. I hate it. And then Vio can do all of those things. Like, he spins, he slashes, he ground pounds, he jumps. They all jump, actually. Yeah, it's actually great. I love Vio. He was the hardest to fight for sure. I think he's got more health than all the others as well. But when you defeat him, you do get like some sort of ability in your sword. I don't think you actually get anything, but you get the little the thing that says you win. So I'm just gonna flick through some of these and then yeah. That's it for the Palace of the Four Swords. It's a very well done dungeon. I love the puzzles in it. I didn't get time to kind of like go through the puzzles and just look at them, but they're just really well done in general. There's parts that I wouldn't have thought would be cool, but like they really are. Sorry for the caps and spam was for the... It's okay, comedic effect is necessary. It always is. I will play Hollow Knight at some point, probably. But in terms of Zelda games, I'm just saying. Link to the Past is a good one. So I am very much glad I played this game. Okay, so that's the Palace of the Four Sword. With that, I think we're actually reaching the end of this because there's only one other thing I wanted to talk about. There is the overall opinion of the game. So you guys will remember I did this last time. Just ranking the music, ranking everything else that you generally get. So let me, bam, destroy the tier list. Destroy it! And then, like, maybe toss on, like, a little blur background here. And, what else are we gonna do? We can pull up, like, I don't know. Actually, we'll, like, leave some gameplay in the background or something here. I'll leave Palace of the Four Sword going on in the background because I just love it. There we go. No Octopath COTC boss ranking. I will do that on a different day. So actually, I do retrospectives after I finish a game. I'm not done with COTC yet. I'm really not done. It's not gonna finish. but like I'm not done with it. So when I kind of like finish COTC, then I will start ranking everything in COTC, and believe me, I will. So yeah, stick around for the Octopath ranking, and I might do a... I might do... Was there a gambling minigame tier list? Yo, you're right. Wait, there's only 2. No, there's 3. There's 3. There's the actually, hold on. I gotta write this shit down. Here. First of all, I did say I was gonna leave some gameplay going on in the background, so let's do that. Zoom, toss, and up, and play, and bam. Okay. And then we can put that on as well. Okay. That'll start. We finished Master of All and the credits rolled. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna wait until I'm done with the entire game. Like, I'm not gonna wait until the Bestower timelines are done or anything. But like, there's still some things that I kind of want to do in COTC, maybe, that might get done at some point. I might do like an Octopath COTC ranking, like, honestly, sometime very soon. I'm kind of nearing done with it. Like, there are, like, I still want to like try some of the other stuff, but I don't have a team that can beat like Tikiland, for example, so I can't do that. I don't have Scarecrow, but yeah. All right. Anyways, we're back here. So I'll just leave this going in the background, and then we'll also just put some random stuff up, and the topic is gonna change to like overall. I have Odette, yeah, but that's kind of all I have. Odette does like 10k damage. It's a problem. Check my units and find a nice team. No, don't help me. I will do it on my own, don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, the real thing is that I need to grind for like better defense items and stuff. I will, honestly, I will be trying Tikiland again, by the way. Do not worry. I will be doing that. I don't have the levels right now. I also don't have the armor right now. I gotta get that stuff. And then when I do, I'll go for it. 20k for 10%? Oh yeah. I'm not gonna get that skill. I'm really not going to. Cause it's just not worth it. Like, it breaks, I mean, sure, sometimes it's useful, but I'm not like putting that on for all time and having to deal with the fact that you could potentially just murder yourself. But yeah. I think I also got this screwed up somehow. Okay, let's go back. Topic. Overall rankings. Here we go. Okay. But yeah, I think, in terms of, like, freaking gambling minigames. Is that the first thing I'm ranking here? Gambling minigames. Heckin' gambling minigames. Yeah, it's permanent content, I know. I've got time. I do have, like... I've gotta wait. You skipped the crit phase. That's fair, that's fair. I know, but, like, the double is not worth. Anyways, in terms of gambling minigames, arrows. Arrows, and then shovel. And then treasure chest. Because treasure chest boy is like not worth. Treasure chest boy just kind of sucks. But yeah, another thing I kind of want to, but like this is supposed to be more serious rankings. I think the music and gameplay and stuff like that, or rather music and graphics and stuff like that, I guess. So I'm ranking this based on, by the way, I'm ranking this based on the GBA version. I did play that because it has the Palace of the Four Swords in it, so I can't necessarily compare the graphics of the original version. The graphics of, like, the new one, this game was released in 2002. And while that seems like it was a long time ago, it was 20 years ago. You have to remember that Wind Waker was released in 2002. So for the time, Link to the Past remake did not have great graphics. Like, compare, like, I know it's handheld versus, you know, console, but even in terms of handhelds, Minish Cap is 2004, if I remember properly, and Minish Cap does, like, a much better job with the graphics. Four Swords Adventures was actually not, okay, Four Swords was console too. Was Minish Cap handheld? It is, yeah, isn't Minish Cap is GBA, isn't it? Yeah, so yeah, I think Link to the Past could have been better. Heck, even in this game, Four Swords has like a better style, I think, than Link to the Past itself. I do love a lot of the changes they made. So like they definitely upgraded the graphics, but Minish Cap in 2004 and Wind Waker in 2002 for home console games, and like handheld games released around the same time by the same company. Yeah, both of them are better. So meh. Minish Cap, I guess, also was made by Capcom. Wait, was this one made by Capcom too? I think it might have been. Yeah, I think it might have been as well. Well, anyways, in any case, I have to say graphics is not great. It's like okay. Oops, not 8 out of 20. 6 out of 10. Yeah, it's that's the thing. It's the same graphics from the SNES. They didn't really change much. So I'll put them in parentheses. So like 6 out of 10 GBA. For the time, I have seen a little bit of the SNES graphics. They don't look like this. They look a little older. They look a lot older, TBH. But for the time, at least 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I'll give it an 8.5. 8.5 for the SNES version. It's very good stuff. Music, it's once again normal for the time. It's a remake that I played, so can't rate it too highly. For SNES though, like I think this game might have actually started a lot of the normal trends. So once again, gonna be like 5 out of 10 for GBA. Whoops, wrong one. Dungeon design has come a long way. Yeah, exactly. Like they really didn't have much they could improve without kind of releasing some of the magic of the original game. And I like that they kept it that way, actually. I'm very glad that they kept the graphics the way they are. It's just I can't like rate them like insanely high or anything, you know? For its time, it was like okay. And as a reason, you know. Sounds horrible on this version versus the SNES one. Yeah, the SNES one, so that's the thing, right? The music was very much, and once again, I have heard some of the music from the SNES version. The ones in this are, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. And that's kind of the problem, right? Because a lot of the music that was made for the SNES era was very optimized for SNES. Like, they would compose around the fact that they had to deal with those kind of shitty music cards. You know, they had to make music that would sound good on that system. It's actually one of the reasons like graphics and audio tend to be so, I guess hard to do in video games is because you have to work with the system constraints you're given, especially in the older days. Like nowadays you can kind of just throw things in there and we've got, you know, decent sound systems on every device, but back then it was difficult. So yeah, like, and I really have to give this game credit for a lot of the themes that just stuck around in the Zelda series. Like, often I would enter a place and I'd be like, oh, frick, it's the fairy temple, right? Or like, oh, frick, it's the overworld theme. Like, that stuff is iconic. I think some of them were there in the original. So I can't give this game credit for all of them, but many of them were started off in Link to the Past, I think. So yeah, just top tier. Another thing that I can also mention, which is really funny, a little bit of trivia. Oh, let me rate this first, so 8 out of 10 maybe. I haven't heard enough of it to rank it, really. So you can kind of like doubt me on these SNES rankings. Another thing I want to mention, which is really funny, is that in this remake, they replaced the Link sounds with the young Link sounds from Ocarina of Time, apparently. I did not really notice that, but I was like, yeah, that's a very familiar Link scream. It turns out it is the same Link scream. So it's just Link from OOT. He dies repeatedly. It's the same guy. Apparently all versions of Link sound the same when they are children. Little did we know. So there's that going for it. What else? I do wanna... SNES didn't have sounds for Link. Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. All I knew is that the new one has the sounds. The sounds of death from Ocarina of Time. Very interesting. Wow, just completely mute Link. I mean, I guess that's par for the course, TBH. Can't complain on that front. What else? Let me erase this so this becomes bigger. Great. I think... oh, yeah, okay. Overworld. So, this... I have to talk about the overworld. Like, I cannot go through a Link to the Past ranking without talking about the overworld. Because the overworld is perhaps done like, maybe I would say like one of the best overworlds I've seen in a very long time. It's just brilliant. Like, I would give this an 11 out of 10 if I could. I mean, okay, there's some stuff it could do better, sure. And like, but just every corner of it is very well thought out, packed with things to do. And it also just rotates between light and dark, you know? And the way that you first explore the light world, you gotta go through like, finding the 3 pendants. You head to like all the different corners of the world, you collect those pendants, you come back, and you're like, okay, like that's it, right? That's the whole map, I've explored everything. And like, no, you freaking haven't, because the whole dark world still exists, and it's brilliant. I mean, yes, every Zelda game tends to have like you go through half the map and then like, bam, some event happens and then you get another half of the map. Like that keeps happening over and over again. But in nowhere are those 2 halves so connected. And I have to say, well, that's the thing, they didn't really reuse it well in Link Between Worlds. I think the Link Between Worlds version does not allow you to go back and forth anytime. You have to take the cracks between the worlds. So, like, if I were rating Link Between Worlds, I would give it a strict downgrade from Link to the Past. So for context, by the way, Link Between Worlds has you, it's very much inspired by Link to the Past, so a lot of things are going to be kind of similar. In Link Between Worlds, you get the ability to turn into a painting, and as a painting, you can take any of the crack between worlds and just end up from Lorule to Hyrule. And Lorule is not the Dark World, it is a different place. So there's no like downsides to being there. There's like a whole different race of people that live there, etc. But it's a different world. It's like Termina. It's not like the Twilight Realm. Those are the differences. Yeah, the painting mechanic was very good, don't get me wrong, but in terms of just overworld, like the amount of freedom you have for exploration with being able to swap from any place in the Dark World to any place in the Light World is brilliant. And then of course they have to make it so you can't just go into anywhere in the Dark World. So of course you're not allowed to go into the Dark World from the Light World. And that leads to this brilliant mechanic where essentially you end up like, you end up starting off with, So you end up starting off with the whole Light World, like, pretty much explored. There's some places you haven't been to, though. And you might think, like, oh, okay, like, maybe I'll get an item later that'll get me there. But usually it's not an item. Usually it's just finding a location in the Dark World that will take you to a place in the Light World that you can then, you know, explore around in. But when you want to go back to the Dark World, you have to come back to the exact same portal, which means you can't access new areas in the Dark World by being in the Light World. And this sounds, like, really confusing, I'm sure, but it's freaking brilliant the way it's implemented. And I haven't seen that before. I haven't even seen that in the, like, yet. I haven't seen that in any other game since. So, like, maybe FSA. Yeah, exactly. The difference is that it's always the cracks. That's the exact difference. Link Between Worlds, having it only be the cracks makes it essentially the same thing as any other, like, transportation mechanic. You're always kind of constrained to the same locations. In Link to the Past, you can go anywhere. And it's so fun. Like, sometimes, you know, you're in a place, like Spectacle Rock, okay? Let's take Spectacle Rock. It's at the top of the map. In the Light World, it's a, like, tall rock. You can't get on top of it. In the Dark World, it's on the ground. So you just walk forward, and then you go into the Light World again using the magic mirror, and you're on top of the rock, and then you can jump down, and now you're in a whole new area of the Light World you didn't have access to. It's absolutely brilliant. Learned that Minish Cap ranks slightly lower on basically all review sites compared to the Link to the Past. You know why? You know why? It's because of the nostalgia effect. So every Zelda game gets kind of like crashed when it first comes out. Like, everyone's like, oh, boo. Like, actually, I won't even say this is for Zelda games. In every game, people are like, you're freaking... Like, you should have seen what people said about Wind Waker. When Wind Waker came out, people were like, it freaking sucks. Look at this tiny Link. Like, what is he doing being all cartoony like that? That's not how this works, right? Link is like a badass older man, despite the fact that Ocarina of Time came out before then. So, yeah, and then, like, eventually people are like, oh, wait, shit, this game is really good. So I think the same thing kind of happened in general for, like, Minish Cap. I will say Minish Cap is one of the underrated Zelda games in the franchise. Like, I think Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, all the Toon Link-ish games are, in my opinion, very, very underrated. I like the 2D Zelda games. I think they're awesome. Okay, what else? Oh, the old guy in Kakariko is this Link. I do like to think that, but my favorite theory is actually that they're the same guy. Like, this Link is that Link. I like to think that this Link starts off, yeah, exactly. Most people hated Toon Link in Wind Waker, and then people came around real fast. But yeah, I like to think, here's my timeline theory that I like a lot. And this is from the Link Universe headcanon, so I don't take credit for this one. But, actually, many of these theories are inspired by other Zelda theories over, like, 15 years, so at some point, I can't really trace the source of a lot of these. But yeah, so what happens in Link to the... Oh, yeah, so in Link to the Past, he starts off as, like, a young kid. And then he, you know, goes through all this stuff, and he resets the world with the Triforce at the end. And then he goes to Oracle of Seasons and Ages in Holodrim and Labrina, does a bunch of stuff, rescues some people, etc., etc. And then on the way back, and, like, on his way out again, he ends up getting stuck in a shipwreck, and then Link's Awakening happens, and that's, like, all canon. So all those things happen to the same Link in the canon timeline. But after that, I'd like to think that he comes back home, and the reason he was, you know, like, coming back home is that he's heard about some, like, okay, so maybe, like, you know, the OOS and OOA adventures are happening, and, like, Link gets a message like, hey, you need to, like, freaking come back home, right? Like things are happening, like, you know, you need to get back. So then Link's Awakening happens on his way back, and after he gets back, he finds, you know, like, that the whole Yuga business is going on, and then he goes and, like, tries to beat up Yuga, and then Ravio shows up and saves him, and then Ravio takes over his house. So I'd like to think it's the same freaking guy. And he's just been on all these adventures. And just for the fun of it, I also like to throw in Triforce Heroes. So, like, after after Link Between Worlds is done, and the same guy is, like, now kind of, like, jaded, shit has happened to him. And then, like, this weird freaking adventure shows up in Hytopia, the Kingdom of Fashion. So it's brilliant. I like to think that all 6 games are the same Link. It just makes it more fun. And I like to think that, so if you imagine that all 6 games are the same Link, then the old man in the exact first Legend of Zelda game, you know the one in the memes, the one who goes like, it's not safe to go alone, take this. That guy, I like to think that that is the hero of Legend. And he's been waiting there for like multiple hundreds of years to give a sword to the next Link. So heck yeah. I do like that. They hate it mostly because of the hyper-realistic Zelda trailer being dropped before. Oh yeah. They dropped Twilight Princess. Yeah, I freaking... Why Twilight Princess gotta screw over Wind Waker like this? My loyalty. How does he live so long? I like to think he's a ghost. I like to think that the old man in the original Hyrule games was freaking dead this whole time. It's not safe to go alone, you know? He's been waiting there just to say that. He's been waiting there for ages and ages. That's my guess. Anyways, overall 10 out of 10. That was a lot of stuff to say, but like essentially the dark light mechanic is actually brilliant. I have not yet seen a mechanic like it. I really loved it. It was great. What else? He does disappear afterwards. Exactly. See, I'm telling you. Okay. Gameplay? I mean, there's not much to talk about in terms of gameplay in this game. It's kind of standard. You walk around, you shoot things with a sword. Wait, you shoot things with an arrow. And then you hit things with a sword. There's some interesting combos you can kind of do with, like, you know, moving around in specific places, using specific items at times. They made good use of the items. In terms of, like, making good use of the control scheme and stuff, like, this is where, for example, if I was rating Phantom Hourglass, I would give it, like, a freaking 10. Because I love it. And I'm very biased. But also because Phantom Hourglass made amazing use of the DS. You move around with the DS, you use items with the DS. The one thing I would give it like a kind of minus point is just use of the microphone, because no one cares about the microphone. But but gameplay in this game is pretty standard. Not too much else to do here. So, think whatever you want to make you feel better about. No, you don't beat him up, it's fine. He's okay. This old man you don't beat up. You do beat up an old man in Breath of the Wild, though. So if you want to beat up old men, play the secret boss of Breath of the Wild. It's not a secret, it's the DLC. Play the DLC boss of Breath of the Wild. It's much better than the real boss. Yeah, heckin' love that one. Probably didn't have to stay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you live as much as you want to live, and then you die, right? Like, that's how that works. Anyways, gameplay, yeah, it's standard. It was good for the time. It was good for the time. GBA probably ranks a little lower than, like, SNES, just because I'm ranking it based on the time. So, like, 7 for GBA. 7 for GBA. How about that? And then, like, 8 for... I'm ranking everything like a pretty much 7 and 8. SNES version is just, like, decently good in all terms. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's basically it. Was there anything else I'm missing ranking here? I think that's all I've got. After this, I've got one more thing, which is just final thoughts. So yeah, I think that's basically all for my overall rankings. I'm gonna remember something afterwards. I'm definitely gonna remember something afterwards. I'm like, shit, I should have said that. But nope. So anyways, final thoughts. Final thoughts. This game is awesome. This game is freaking awesome. That's my final thoughts. Here, let me change it. Hold on. Okay. Bam. Topic. Final thoughts. Oh, I capitalized the I. Alright. Put this back up. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Alright. Final thoughts in general is just that, yeah, as I said, like, this game is very, very well done. Considering that the original concept and stuff from this game was made back in 1991 or something insane like that, they went all out. You can really tell, too, because the old Zelda games didn't really have much of a story. Like, you know, yes, you have to rescue the princess, and then you do it, and then congratulations, your princess is in this castle, and you get the reward, right? In this game, you rescue the princess immediately. You have emotional ties, because your uncle dies right in front of you, and you're told by him, you know, hey, go forth, do my job, you know, do what I couldn't. Save the princess in my stead. And yeah, you immediately save her. You go put her in a safe place, and then you have to go get the 3 pendants. And like, sure, the 3 pendants are a plot gimmick, but it makes sense, you know, because like, it's giving you a chance to explore the light world, which is, of course, your your first opportunity to see what awaits when you finally get the Master Sword and fight Aghanim at the top of the tower, and he drags you into the dark world, and you realize, oh shit, there's half the map left. and the first half of the map is connected to the second half of the map, and all those things that you learned about the light world are now gonna be useful in the dark world. Remember that swamp we drained once and that like weird place we filled up? Like, now it's useful. Because it turns out that the stuff in the back relates to the stuff in the front. It's really good. It's absolutely brilliant, and I love it. Every time something happened in this game, it felt like there was a reason for it. And that takes a lot of effort, especially in old games. Incredible use of, like, items, use of bosses. This game established a lot of the mainstays of the series. Like, yes, technically not the first Zelda game ever, but it really is the first Zelda game in this style. Like, the one that, you know, takes you on a story, has you solve puzzles in, like, very specific ways, teaches you things with hints and has you solve them, you know, shoot the eye to kill the monster, etc. All of those, like, weird things that you kind of just learn, you know, and more, come up in this game first. And I can see how that filtered down into a lot of the other Zelda games too, right? Like the moving platforms, you know, the the enemies, a lot of them are the same. The mechanic of like the Dark World, Light World, like as we brought up earlier, yes, it's done again in Link Between Worlds, actually worse in Link Between Worlds, like this game did it better. It did it first and it did it better. And a lot of the enemies get reused again, the items, yeah, the Lynels, I like how you spelled it like the Triangle Strategy character, but but yeah, the Lynels too, Lynels, Hinoxes, freaking, even those like small things with the helmets that the Dodongo looking thing spits out at you in the Palace of the Four Swords, like those things show up again too. Everything in this game shows up again somewhere in like one of the other games, and that's just a sign for how good this game is. The fact that they like, you know, came upon this winning combination and then just like played the crap out of it is amazing. Don't talk about those terrifying things enough to remember. They're surprisingly easy in this game, and that's the funny thing, you know, like going back and playing an old game like this one, you realize the differences, you know? Like Wizrobes in this game were like meh, you know, like they were actually kind of nice. I remember stocking up on health points in the Wizrobe room because they just keep regenerating and giving you hearts as a drop, and they're very easy to kill. But like in Breath of the Wild, you're like, oh shit, Wizrobes, like freaking run away, oh gosh, you know? It's absolutely nice. Yeah, that's my final thoughts. Final thoughts is this game is very well done. The Dark World, Light World mechanic is amazing, and everyone should play this game. I am very much going to enjoy playing Oracle of Seasons and Ages later, when I do eventually get around to that. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. I am going to stop right now. I went a lot longer than I thought I would. Wow, okay. I did not think I had material for like 3 hours, but I think we ended up talking for like 3 hours. Oh shit. I'm sorry guys, I talk a lot. What can I say? I have a lot to say and I love saying it, so heck yeah. So yeah, this is the second of my retrospectives actually, and I definitely missed out on Live Alive. I might do that one still. Octopath COTC is definitely gonna get one. Don't worry folks. We are gonna do COTC a retrospective, don't worry. That is coming up, and I will bring all of my Octopath knowledge to that one. Just as I have brought all of my Legend of Zelda knowledge to this one, and all my Tri-Strat knowledge to the other one. So I can, yeah! Remember when I said I wasn't gonna go for 3 hours? I freaking lied. Like everyone please imagine like the whole, that was a lie gif, cause like, I'm sorry, I love this game, it's so good, okay? Yeah, honestly, like the Zelda franchise in general is just very special to me. A lot of people know that Phantom Hourglass was the first Zelda game I ever finished. Back then, I was like a young child. I had not very much played any games before. I had played like Pac-Man, Galaga, Dig Dug, and like Super Mario Bros. 2. And then like, and then I got Phantom Hourglass, and that game freaking changed my life. It opened me up to like so many other things that I had no idea of before. I learned how to solve puzzles. I learned how to manage things, you know, like all this stuff that like I never really thought I would need. I grew up on Murkay Island. So, and I had that game for like 2 years. It was the only game I had for 2 years actually. So, because I had to give away my GBA. So I had my DS, I had Phantom Hourglass, and I played the shit out of that. And yeah, after that, I played like almost every Zelda game. I've written them out here just in case if anyone wants to like kind of check against this thing. But I played in order: Skyward Sword, freaking not Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, Four Swords, Oracle of Time, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Four Swords Adventures, Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Link to the Past. Now, hey, Link's Awakening, Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, and Breath of the Wild. The ones I am missing are Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, and the original 2. I am missing those 4 games. I'm also missing Hyrule Warriors, but heck yeah. Yeah, I guess we don't have enough time to do. I thought like maybe if I run out of time, I would do like a timeline guide, Lynn's timeline guide. I can summarize the heck out of every single Zelda game, and I have a lot of things that, because I've had 15 years to come up with a timeline that puts all the Zelda games together. I had one before Hyrule Historia came out, and then I like Actually, maybe not before it, but before I knew that Hyrule Historia existed. And then I read Hyrule Historia and I kind of like formatted my view of the Zelda games around that. So now I've got this like version of the timeline that fits all of the things that I like most, and kind of like emphasizes, okay, it emphasizes like, I guess, like story and plot elements and also gameplay. Like for example, you'll notice that like Minish Cap has the ocarina that summons Zephyr the bird. The only other game that does that, as far as I remember, is Link to the Past. In Link Between Worlds, you summon the witch, Irene, I think, to teleport you around. So yeah, like, I mean, there's things that connect all the games, and I love thinking about them. So I might do that at some time too, you know, just talk about the timeline. But yeah, not today. We're gonna end today, because I got a meeting at 7. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, folks. Heck yeah. I really do love these retrospectives, and I'll be doing more of them. This is the time for everyone to come and like chat. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. And once again, it is not required to play the game at all. I have now figured out how to play clips of the game. So even if you haven't seen the game, you can see the clips and realize how freaking terrible certain bosses were, like that stupid caterpillar. The stupid freaking caterpillar. But yeah, that's gonna be it. See ya, guys. Bye. Yeah, oh, I guess I forgot. Yeah, if you haven't given me a follow, please give me a follow. And if you haven't joined the Discord, go ahead and do that. Thank you. Okay, bye. Perfect. With a game over. Let's end this.